In early September of last year, I had a really good conversation with a friend of mine who is pretty far to the right. He likes to say he's more apolitical and more, center leaning and stuff like that. And while there are some conversations we've had, even regarding immigration and things of that nature, where he doesn't seem as to the right as he votes for and seems to typically um, show himself to be, as it were. Um, he is someone who is very much one of those, well, in a lot of ways, he's kind of the, I guess, stereotypical right winger who's really just kind of a bully using politics to bully other people, things of that nature. But that is neither here nor there. We've talked about how I think I've done a full video on how conservatives are just bullies. If not, I will do that in the future. But I had a really good conversation with him where I was able to move him over on some things. And I wanted to do a video on originally on the concept of how you can meet people where they're at and move people over. I'm not a debater. I never wanted to be, never am going to be, I don't think, at least, a debate bro or anything of the sort. But I do like having conversations with people, even if those are people that I fundamentally, politically, socially, whatever it may be, disagree with. Of course, once that happened, and I was literally like the next day that I was going to make that video, Charlie Kirk got assassinated, and the media went on a whole other, whirlwind, and it took me a while to catch up to a lot of different things, and now I'm at the point where, um, I still wanted to talk about that concept, but recently there was actually a very good video, um, a really good example of this that I saw, where I don't have to just go through my own experience with this, but I can show a really good example of meeting people who seem so far gone, meeting people where they're at, and seemingly at least changing their minds at least a little bit. Hey everyone, my name's Christian, and I have a lot to say about many things. I want to talk about the Necessary Conversation podcast and how Hassan speaking with them seemed to move them over on some things, and more importantly, what we can all learn from this in order to move over people we have in our personal life. So as I'll get into in a minute here, basically, well, let's just get into what the necessary. Let's just get into it.
Let's start by, introducing who you are to the audience. They might not know.
My name's Chad. I've been a TV writer, movie writer. I write novels primarily. That has been my career until I decided to do a podcast with my parents, who are both MAGA, because my sister and I, who are very much not MAGA, hadn't really talked to them in a matter of years, since probably Obama's second term, somewhere in there. There was a big rift. We stopped talking to them, but they were getting older, and I was like,
so this has gone a while back, as we can tell.
Really not going to ever talk to them again. And during Biden's term, about halfway through it, I called my mom up and I was like, would you be down to do a podcast where we talk about politics? She said yes. And now we've been doing it for about 3.5 years. Every Sunday.
So you guys have been doing this for 3.5 years. Yeah. And this is one of the conversations that went viral this past week. So let's take a look at it. And I obviously have some questions for you before we talk to your parents.
What if Donald Trump says, I want you to carpet bomb Oklahoma City, everyone? You think the Air Force should carry that out?
Yes.
There might be a reason. We don't know.
This is insane.
You cannot be this stupid. Jesus Christ.
Oh, my. This podcast was going well until that.
You just said it's cool.
I love how, she's like, they're like, would you be okay with Trump bombing where we live? And yeah, absolutely. And she's like, God damn it, you can't be this fucking stupid. And the mom's like, oh wow, this is really going nice until you had to drop the F-bomb. Bitch, you're talking about dropping actual bombs on your own children and being okay with that.
Levels, Oklahoma. You're like, yeah, fuck it. There must be a reason. You literally can't be that dumb.
You know what the problem is? Mom and I don't believe he'll ever blow up Oklahoma because we're on his side and so's the whole state.
No, it's because you're in a cult.
You guys are worried and afraid because you live in a state where it might happen.
Okay, let's theoretically say that does happen. Let's say Trump sends in the Marines to Los Angeles, California, and let's say I'm out going to see a movie on a weekend, and he says,
And
go into that shopping mall.
Under a truck.
Quiet, piggy. He says, go into that shopping mall and kill everyone you see. And let's say I get gunned down by the Marines for just being at a mall.
Okay, number one,
All for
let's just take
Okay,
it
Dad,
one step
wait a minute,
further.
Mom, wait 1 second. Wait 1 second. Dad,
wait.
hang on, Mom. Dad, you just said you are for Donald Trump murdering me for no reason, and you would support that.
If he walks into a mall to people with military,
There has to be a reason.
there's a reason. And I'm all for it. And the people in Los Angeles, California are as deserving of execution as the assholes in New York City. You're all communists.
So,
Yeah.
the first question that is on
Sorry, let me. Oh, never mind. I won't move myself.
everyone's minds is like, I mean, is this real? Like, this
Yeah.
is how your parents are. Like,
This is how they
this
are.
is how they operate.
100%. And it's gotten worse since really Trump's first term, I guess. They've gotten more and more indoctrinated into the cult. Now, anything he says is their talking point. They only watch Newsmax now. They don't even watch Fox. That is too left for them.
Because of the Dominion stuff. Like, Fox actually betrayed the truth. The MAGA
I don't even think
loyalists.
it goes that deep. I just think they're every once in a while on Fox News now, you'll see somebody push back against Trump or issue some kind of factual statement. That's too much for them. They need the Newsmax kind of continual 24/7 pipeline of just cult talk, basically. But yeah, it's totally real. I get that DM from time to time too. Are you scripting this? Is this acting? No. This
Well,
is our
like
real
that,
family.
that's my first assessment. But like, there are a lot of people in this community, not dissimilar to yourself, that have these sorts of conversations with their parents, and they're like, no, this is actually quite similar to real conversations that I've had with my MAGA parents. I don't know if they're like playing it up for the camera or not.
I don't want to be clear. Like, so I've said many times, I live in Florida, so I deal with, people saying some pretty wild stuff in support of Trump as well. Nothing this bad, like nothing this crazy. I have, pretty, or I used to at least have pretty heated conversations with my dad about this kind of stuff. I've had conversations with right-leaning friends. If you listen to the podcast, you might hear some more conservative views that my buddy Jordan has on our podcast. He has some more conservative views that I like push back against and stuff, but I managed to stay friends and maintain relationships with these people. There was a time where my mom was very much falling into this stuff. I remember she started watching like Candace Owens stuff on Facebook, and during 2020 she was like, well, I've been hearing that Candace Owens, and she said George Floyd was no angel, and stuff like that. I'm like, oh my god. And I was just getting into politics at this time, so I wasn't like super aware of this stuff. But like, I was never to the right, but I was like, here's the right on the screen. This is my right, but I was never to the right. But I was more like center right, if you will. It wasn't until I started actually paying attention to politics, which, as I've talked about many times before, seeing George Floyd murdered and the response to the murder, how the right was framing it and everything, was essentially what radicalized me and made me be like, okay, I need to start paying attention to this shit. I understand people that kind of just like put their head in the sand and, they have enough going on in their life and everything. They don't want to focus on politics. They don't really care. I get that. I don't believe anybody actually doesn't care about politics. Everyone has something to say about political stuff, social issues, all those different things. And anybody that tells you otherwise is either lying or they're just probably stupid. They're misinformed, they're uninformed, whatever it might be. But now these guys, of course, wouldn't consider themselves apolitical, but unfortunately, most of the time, people who are apolitical are actually more to the right. And I think that the reason for that is because it's easier to go with the status quo and to go with the more conservative outlook on things, because I do think in a lot of ways conservatism and resistance to change and such is essentially in our nature, and things that we have to like basically grow up and move past from. There have been studies on how literally like right-wing conservative people, their brains are different. They experience disgust and fear and such in a much different way and much more often than anybody who's like more liberal or left-leaning or what have you. So there's also that aspect to it. There's a lot of different things that go into it. But what I'm more interested in this conversation and want to like really dig into here is how you like how you meet these people where they are and you change their minds, because I believe a big part of what pushed, I talked about this a lot, but like what pushed so many people, especially young men, to the right was the annoying fucking liberal woke scolds that would constantly shit on men and shit on anything that was like shit on men or anything that men liked. There was this notion for a long time that basically like white was uncool, minorities were cool, essentially. Like if you were white, you were no longer cool. Those kind of things. So there was a lot of stuff like that happening, you know, and the right like took these narratives and ran with it, and the fucking liberal woke scolds were like, well, no, actually, yeah, like they're right, like yeah, all men are trash, actually, all men, and you know, and of course, you know, the right use that to see they think you're all evil, they think you're all terrible, and so on and so forth, right? You know, they're trying to replace us, trying to, you know, take our jobs away, all that stuff, right? Um, and you know, I think that you had this group of people who were very concerned and afraid for their own well-being and the well-being of those that they love, and you know, they had the right pushing, like constantly telling them, yes, be afraid of them, be afraid. And then you had the left, you had, you know, fucking again liberal woke scolds saying like, you know, yeah, like they're right, you guys, like we do hate you guys. You know, we do hate fucking, like, especially young white men 100%. And you know, um kind of, there was this kind of air of like if you didn't know something or you wanted to learn or whatever, like you were a bad person for not already knowing about some like social issue or, you know, cause or whatever, um different things like that. And that was something that the right took a lot of advantage of back in like the 2010s. I am very much interested in, and I try to do this. People say on my channel, like, oh, you know, Christian likes to play devil's advocate. No, I'm not really playing devil's advocate. I'm trying to meet people where they are, no matter how much I disagree with them. I understand their perspective because, again, I was more right. Also, I live in Florida. I have plenty of people around me that are more right leaning. I hear their perspectives. I disagree with them, but I hear them. And I think it's very important to, I think it's imperative. The most important thing you can do when trying to actually change someone's mind and not just speak into an echo chamber is to understand where your opposition is coming from. Like look at them as a human being as they are and understand where they're coming from. And then you say, okay, I understand like how you feel about this, but this is why you're wrong. And let me like kind of lead you down this train of thought that is more reasonable. And so on. So I think this video is a very good example. So anyway, we'll get to the actual thing here.
But, you know, my mom seems to think that my dad might be, but he's kind of been like that for my entire life, my sister's entire life. And like I said, it's gotten a little more exacerbated, I think, in the you know, current kind of political climate, but that is who the guy is.
So should we call him now?
Sure.
Should we? All right, we're going to start the video call. I'm going to do the pop out. That's your, that's
my dad's gut.
Okay.
I'm sorry. Sorry.
That's a great, that's a great image.
Oh my God.
Jesus Christ.
Okay, so a good portion of this image is them not knowing how to do any kind of technical stuff because, you know, I get it. You know, they're older. It's difficult for them. And they eventually get it sorted here. So
Hold it. I'm game.
All right.
You're going to hold it up the whole time?
Well, I have nothing else. I don't know what else to put up there.
That's a lot of arm strength. Yep. That's arm strength. And okay. All right. Well, you know, okay. Well, this works for us. So, hi, I'm Hassan. I'm here with your son, Chad. I've seen some of you guys' clips, and I was very excited to have all of you on to get a better understanding of where you're coming from and what your worldviews are. And if you don't mind, if you guys could all introduce yourselves to my audience as well, because this is live right now.
I'll go first. I always go first. My name's Haley. I live in a suburb of Dallas, Texas. My parents are Bob and Mary Lou. Chad is my brother. This whole thing was kind of concocted as a way to stay in contact with and maintain a relationship with our parents after 2026. Donald Trump just kind of really ruined it for all of us. So Chad and I.
Wait, it won't let me move it any further to the. So wait, you can move subtitles further to the left, but you can't move them to the right. Fuck. All right, fine. We'll put them up here then, so we can you guys can see them better. That's stupid. Wait, am I blocking them? If they're, yeah, I am. Okay. All right. Whoa, what the fuck? All right, we'll put them up here. That's so stupid. YouTube, you should fix that shit. That's fucking dumb. whatever.
Decided to do something about it. Started the pod, so we take it all out for an hour on Sundays, and then try to talk to each other peacefully outside of it.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm Bob, live in Oklahoma, 72 years old.
Okay.
Had to think. Mary Lou Colchin,
All right,
70, going to be 71. Yeah, we've been married 50 years. We've known each other 55.
I'm Christian Verstappen, live in Florida, 28 years old. Since we're all introducing ourselves, we're doing ASL apparently here, age, sex, location. Oh, male.
Just dating, huh? Is that how that worked out?
About 4.5. Yep.
Why did it take you so long to pull the trigger, Bob? If you don't mind me asking.
Well, because I was in high school.
That makes sense. That makes sense. I wasn't doing the math in my mind.
He was a senior in high school. I was a sophomore. Yeah.
Okay. Nice. Okay.
And we did a little education, and then into the Air Force, and then Chad came, and then back to education. So we did get our degrees along with a 3-month-old baby named Chad.
One of the things that helps too is obviously they're having this conversation where like they're already kind of having some common ground, some kind of, hey, let's get to know you in general. Like, we're not here just to fight. Like, let's talk like people, that kind of thing. And that's very important too. A big problem that, a lot of it is from like calling people out like online and stuff. But like a big thing is you'd have someone who was like tapped into like political stuff, again, primarily woke schools. And then you'd have someone who was, maybe they were raised more conservative or whatever it is, and they would express disinterest or disagreement with something that a woke school believed. And the woke school would then, basically say, oh, well, you're a bigot because, X, Y, Z. And it's like, no, they just don't understand. They might be a bigot, but more than likely they're probably not. They're probably just like uninformed, and you can inform them. This is why I really hate that whole, it's not my job to educate you. Because if you don't educate them as a more left-leaning person, a more progressive person, whatever you want to call it, the right will absolutely educate them. And you don't want them educating them.
You guys got degrees. Both of you got degrees in college. Like you went to college.
Yeah.
What did you guys get your degrees in? If you don't mind me asking. Also, I'm Hassan, and I'm 34 years old. I live in Los Angeles. I grew up in Turkey. And if you've watched any Fox News coverage on me, you probably know me as a anti-American communist terrorist who hates America and played a role in Zoran Mamdani getting elected as mayor of New York. Also, I once famously said America deserved 9/11 when talking about American foreign policy, bringing about the concept of blowback. But that's just the top line.
I like how he ripped the Band-Aid off. He's like, here are the things. Here are my controversies. He owns it. That's good.
I think we all want what's best for America, but in our own unique ways. But just wanted to get you guys situated on how you might hear information about me. But I'm very excited to hear what you guys have to say and where you guys are coming from as far as your beliefs. So yeah, getting back into it. You said you went to college. What did you guys study, if you don't mind me asking?
My degree's in accounting.
My degree's in physical education health.
Wow, that's awesome. Okay, so could you guys elaborate on your political journey, if you don't mind me asking, like what happened? Like how did you guys find out about Donald Trump? Were you lifelong?
The son just immediately laughed. Oh God, the daughter too. Okay, so is it? I don't know their names.
Republican voters before then? Like how did this happen?
Go ahead, Bob.
Yeah, I've been a Republican all my life, but it got more intense when we lost the election to Obama.
Okay.
Because I saw him as a far left-wing liberal who didn't give a rat's ass about the United States.
Was there anything else about Obama you didn't like?
That was pretty much it. That was the main.
Oh no, he didn't like having a black man as president. Yeah, that was oh my God, that was such a thing. So many people hated that he was black and his name was Barack Hussein Obama. Oh, he's black, he's Muslim, he's this, he's that, he's that. Meanwhile, he like actively went to church and was very much a Christian. We actually have not had a non-Christian. Well, I mean, I don't believe Trump was Christian, but like is Christian rather. But we haven't had like a non-espousing at least Christian. I don't think ever as president, have we? We might have like way in the beginning, but at least certainly since Reagan, we haven't.
I mean,
It was the main thing.
okay.
Just gonna put my
But yeah, like him being Muslim and him being black was a huge issue. A lot of people on the right had, they didn't want to be taking orders from a black man.
hat on as well for the duration of this interview. I don't know if you can see it.
Nice.
Yes, I have one to match. I could go get mine, but I can't move the camera much.
Yeah, no, don't worry about it.
All right, so Dad, you got radicalized around Obama. Mom, I assume it's basically the same. I mean, we talked about this on our show. It's basically the same for you, but I also think living in close proximity to Dad kind of locks you into a certain mental trap, a perpetual cycle of fear, aggression, anger.
I think being raised in the little town we were in too, growing up as kids, our environment. I mean, the environment that you live in.
I mean, I guess, but Chad and I grew up in your house, and we didn't turn out anything like you guys. So I can't really, you can't really say that.
I blame that on your church.
All right, so we'll get to what Bob's about to say in a minute. What we're going to see here is a very common thing, and I can speak to this a little bit myself. So my mom wasn't really like interested in politics like at all throughout her life or me growing up or anything. she did vote for Obama in 2008. She thought he was gonna, really do good for the country and things of that nature. She was so excited she even like took a picture of him at an inauguration on the TV. But she voted for him. My dad was very much against Obama, always. When I was growing up, and I was like going through my formative years, which were the Obama years, um, my dad would tell me these stories about how they were basically building these like Christian, like these concentration camps for Christians, and how they were going to do to Christians, which we were a family of the religion Christian, not just my name Christian. I'm no longer Christian. The religion, my name is it's so fucking confusing. You get what I mean though. I'm now I'd say I'm more of a agnostic atheist. I believe more it's important. I care more about who you are as a person and how you treat others rather than I care about like what deity you believe or anything like that. Um, and but my dad, he would tell me like all these like crazy conspiracy stories when we were like walking our dogs together and stuff, and I had my mind filled up with this stuff, and he he had me thinking, like I remember sometimes I would like look out at the window when I was like falling asleep, and I would be afraid that like military people were gonna like break in through the window and like kidnap us, and it was gonna be like um a kind of like a Babylonians capturing the, I want to say, Israelites in the Bible. If any of you are familiar with like, so there was a lot of stuff that like went into this. There's a lot of stuff having to do with like Christian persecution complex and stuff like that too, but that's not really what this video is about. Point is, I experienced a lot of like, my dad wasn't as bad as these guys, but the direction that these guys were going, my dad was, he was like firmly in that camp, if you will. My mom was more liberal. I've gotten her to move over a little bit on some things like free Medicare and stuff like that that I believe in, and I don't think she's opposed to things like a UBI or things like that. But she actually she even says now, well it's kind of sweet because she was not interested in any of this for a long time, and my her and my dad separated in 2018, and she started dating this other guy when they got divorced. She started dating this other guy, and he was very right wing. He was super. We also think he might have had some connection to the mob. We don't know for a fact, but he was very right wing. He always had Fox on. At least he didn't have Newsmax on, but he had Fox News on all the time. He was always complaining about, and like for the first like year or so she was with him, I didn't like think anything of it because it wasn't I wasn't really interested in politics. But when I started getting interested in them and started like pushing back on stuff, he'd be like, oh, I remember we were one day all together, like I think either Christmas or Thanksgiving dinner, one of the two, and I was like pushing back on like the immigrant crime stuff that they were spouting, and basically 1350 they were doing and all that stuff, and they were like, oh, you heard that from CNN and all that, and I was talking with like a friend of mine, and I'm like, where did they, like I was telling them about this, and she like laughed. She was like, who like our age gets news from CNN? I'm like, I have no fucking clue. I'm thinking like, no, I don't watch CNN. I'm it wouldn't be any better to them. But like I get my news from like fucking like Vosh and Hassan and fucking like Hunter Avalon and to an extent like Seanhead back then and stuff, but I kind of don't like Seanhead that much anymore. That's a whole other thing. But like left wing people that do the kind of stuff I do, right? And of course now, like as I've gotten more interested in this stuff on my own, I read articles and I go over stuff and I look at the sources for different things. I don't only take what these guys say. There are a lot of things that I like disagree with these guys on. But for the most part, yeah, I'm pretty aligned, pretty left leaning. I would identify now as more of a like democratic socialist, kind of more along the lines of like Mamdani or something. But yeah. So with that in mind, as I became more and more like involved in this stuff and interested in this stuff, and I push back on things that my mom believed in and stuff. Eventually, she got out of it. My dad never like really left. He is actually with a woman now who is more left leaning, and when we have political conversations, it's normally me and her because he doesn't say much. He doesn't want to like interject or whatever. But I can definitely like if he did, I could like speak against anything. But it's hard because like again, I'm not interested in debating. I'm interested in having conversations and trying to come to like common understandings and help people to like change their minds and things of that nature, right? So, but my point with all of this is that when my mom left, that guy, and not my dad, but like this other guy, and the new guy that she's with now, he is more left leaning, and her, actually even before they started dating, as I became more and more interested in political stuff and was talking to her about it and different things, she started to understand and come to like basically kind of my view on things for the most part. And she even like in the 24 election when it's actually kind of sweet because like she's in like a seniors community, and she it's kind of sweet because like she was talking to her friends. She like pushes back against like the pro Trump stuff or like friends that like bingo and stuff say. And there was even one where like she was talking about like voting for Harris back in 24, and she was like, well, I don't know, it's kind of sweet because she's like, I listen to my son, like he does his research and he knows what he's talking about, so I trust his judgment. I'm like, oh, that's really fucking, I like that, thank you, that's really fucking sweet. So I know you don't watch these videos, but if you do, mom, thank you. It's really sweet. No, my point with all this is a lot of, especially women who have grown up in like an era where they were not very politically involved themselves, they kind of defer more or less to like what their husband or boyfriend or whatever the man in their life's like politics are, which I'm glad that my mom started like moving more like progressive based on like the things I was talking to her about, and not because like she started dating this guy who's more left leaning. I'm a little bit too far to the left for this guy. He told me I'm a oh god, what was it? Not utopian. I'm an idealist, which yes, 100% I am. Like to get into it briefly, my like political ideal world, or economic at least, like ideal world is one in which basically we all have some kind of universal basic income (UBI), and anything that we want to so basically like all of our needs are provided for, food, shelter, water, internet, electricity, all the things that you need to like survive and function in the modern world, all of that is provided for us. And then if you want things like a new car, a new TV, also we'd have public transport, like much better public transportation. Might be a bit difficult to get now the way our infrastructure is set up and everything, but anyway, the point is we'd have our basic needs met, and then luxury goods, elastic goods, those are things that we would actually work for. Like you could save up for the new game system, a new car that you want, I don't know, a new PC, a trip you want to take, a cruise or a whatever it might be. But these aren't things that you need to survive. These are things that you want that just make your life more enjoyable. And then that way you could do things like save up for this like vacation you want to go on, because now you're not having to spend this money on bills. And if you're out of a job, you're not fucked because you could lose where you live and how you live. You would just lose you would lose access to further luxury items. Also, like renting and what is it called? Like leasing items and stuff. That shit needs to go. Debt and all that needs to go too. But anyway, these are like and of course we're like, well, how do you pay for all that? Taxes. Like I'd much rather our taxes go to funding people's well-being and sustaining the economic certainty of the people in the country rather than like fighting foreign wars and stuff, right? So that's just to get into a little bit of like my like philosophy and all here. Yeah, but my point is it's very common, like what this woman is talking about, where basically she kind of might have veered a bit more to the right because of her husband. So, yeah. But there's hope. There's hope for her, just there's hope for everyone else.
In California and Colorado,
See?
you got tainted by a bunch of lefties.
It's environmental.
That's not true at all.
No, it is true.
And this is a common belief that people have. Oh, they went to, you know, college and got made liberal or whatever. It's like, no, the reason that people are like made more liberal by college or whatever, by higher education, is because they are exposed to new ideas, new people, new ways of life, and they're not under their parents' thumb, so they get to just experience life in a different way. And oftentimes, yes, that does lead them to being more liberal and accepting and things of that nature. Also, like when they are in college or get out of college and deal with like all the debt and different things, they realize like, oh shit, like capitalism's fucked. You know, like there's got to be a better way.
I left Texas in high school to come to California willingly as fast as I could, and I've never left. So I don't think it was.
God, I want to get out of the States so bad too. I feel him.
You did that so you could go to USC's film school.
Yeah.
That's the only damn reason you went to California.
Correct.
So you think they weren't libtards in Texas and they became libtards when they moved to California? Is that what's going on?
It didn't happen overnight. Dad's lived in California longer than he's lived anywhere else.
It's just simply not true. That's not true. We just didn't talk politics when we were younger. It wasn't. It was a moot point. Like when I was in high school, I didn't give a shit about any of this. It wasn't until I became an adult and then as a parent that all of this really started to matter to me. And I happened to be in Colorado, but I was never conservative, even when I was a teenager. I mean,
yeah, and that's an important thing too. A lot of people say like, well, when you have kids or you get older, you'll become more conservative or whatever. Some people do, but a lot of people, you know, because they want the world to be better for their, you know, a lot of people actually move further left as well. So there, and she seems to be an example of someone in that direction.
was like, you know, on the boys baseball team and wearing like traditionally, I would say masculine clothes. Like I've always kind of pushed boundaries and kind of lived on the fringe. It's not that this is anything new or that Colorado made me that way. I've been this way. You guys use that as an excuse, but it's just simply not true.
She did have a wallet chain in high school. I remember that.
Bob, do you feel like you're abdicating responsibility as a parent that both of your children became so liberal? And you're kind of saying like, oh, it must be California and Colorado?
Well, I can tell you one thing. If Chad would have remained in Texas and took the other scholarship to play baseball at Trinity, it would have been a hell of a lot different than he is now.
I don't know if that's true.
As far as Haley's concerned, she got nested with a bunch of liberals that were so far left, it's ridiculous.
May I say something, please? I think some of their political beliefs and what they believe in is my fault because I gave them too much freedom growing up. I mean, you know, I gave them way too much independence. Now I'm trying to reel them back in, and I can't get them. I can't get them.
I'm 49 years old. You're never going to reel me back in.
Yes.
I've always said like.
No, but you're going to come to the day where you're going to have to choose between the lifestyle you have now or communism, and that will be a distinct choice you will have to make.
Okay.
Okay. I'd like to say one more thing. Thank
What?
I've always said until the day I'm 6 foot under and I die, if I feel like you're making like a big weird thing that you shouldn't be doing a decision, I would try to help you. I would try to talk with you, try to communicate, figure this out. Well,
it is really crazy though to think like, oh yeah, you became liberal because I gave you too much freedom. Like your job as a parent, and like I say this to someone who doesn't want kids himself, but your job as a parent is not to like make a mini you and like decide how your kid is supposed to be and make them be that person. Your job is to care for them, nurture them, and raise them into becoming the person that they ultimately decide they want to be. You don't choose for them. You know, you see this a lot with people being like, well, where did I go wrong when like their kid's LGBTQ or something? It's like, you didn't. That's just how they turned out.
it's getting way too hard. I can't do it anymore.
Can we walk through some of these terms if you don't mind me asking? I would love to, Bob. I would love to understand what you mean when you say communism. Like, what do you think? What do you think?
Oh, and by the way, this same kind of mentality was and is used not as openly these days, but it is used regarding like miscegenation and stuff like that, right? A lot of racist white dads don't want their pure white daughter dating a black man, things like that.
believes as far as like
I think-
communist beliefs?
Well, I believe communism is Russia and China, and all you have to do is take a look at their countries, and that tells you what you believe if you're a communist. You want to be under total control of the government. You don't want to work for anything. You want freebies handed out left and right. That's not my way of life, and that's not the way of life I think my kids really want. And at some point in their adult life, they're going to have to make a choice, because our side of the coin is not just 20% of the people, like you said when we talked to you earlier. You have no idea how many MAGAs are out there that are, it's more like 90%.
You think 90% of America is MAGA?
No, I think 90% of MAGA is on our side of the trip.
What?
So like there are 80 million Republicans out there. I'm guessing at least more than half of them are like we are.
Okay.
Because they're not all MAGA.
Oh, so you're saying like out of all of the registered Republicans in the country, if there's 80 million of them, you're saying 50% of them, 50% of them are like your level of pro-Trump. Okay, I mean that's fine.
But that level is like wild. We're not looking at your shrine, but you guys had a Trump shrine where you bought the Trumpy bear. You have all the hats. You have the shoes.
Trumpy? What the hell is a Trumpy? I have to know. What is a Trumpy bear? Oops. What the fuck is this? Oh my god. Oh my god. Do they have like the original site that it's from? How much does it go for? Just get trumpybear.com. I feel like this is gonna give me a vibe. Oh my god. Oh my. Okay, hold up. I gotta move this. What the fuck is this? Oh my god, this is amazing. Bro, this is hilarious, dude. Okay. 69.85 plus 7.95 for sure. So it's like, wait, or Trumpy Bear Deluxe. Ooh, what's Trumpy Bear Deluxe? So okay, with Trumpy Bear. Now here's like how much MAGA are these guys really, right? Because you could get the Trumpy Bear, which was a 28 by 30 flag themed blanket, plus limited time bonus embroidered hat and Trumpy 45-47 tie. Okay, that's if you're like a regular MAGA. You're not like super. You're kind of more like you're not really in it. You're not really committed. You're kind of like a regular. Like, we don't really need people like You're not really committed. You're not really in. But if you get a Trumpy Deluxe, you can get you get all right. So you get the flag and all that, right? And 3 interchangeable ties. Ooh. Plus limited time bone embroidered hat with and Trumpy 45-47 tie. Ooh, you get the Dawn Drain the Swamp. Wait, why is okay, this annoys me. This is like a typography thing. Why is drain in all capital letters, but then THE is in lowercase, and then swamp? Actually, wait. Oh my god, this typography is awful. What the fuck? And then you have like the M isn't really centered properly. Dude, this is like such a hack job. People could pay upwards of $80 for this shit. That's crazy. That's insane, dude. Remember though, it's not a cult. Okay? It's and anyone who says otherwise, you're corrupted by the woke mind virus. It's obviously not a cult. What's going on here?
You have the cologne. You have the Bible. You think most
Oh yeah, I forgot about the Trump cologne.
Republicans have all of that stuff and are buying his NFTs and allowing him to grift them out of all their money?
Yeah, I think all MAGAs are.
I think if you support him, you support him. If you don't, then you don't.
I think you're way missing the boat on how many people are on our side of the fence.
What level of MAGA do you think I'm at? If I can show you some stuff. Bob, can I show you some of my MAGA stuff? Maybe you can tell me if I'm like, you can give me like a MAGA rating on what level of MAGA I am. Can you see me on the camera?
Yes, we can. Can you see us now?
By the definition of Trump merch that one has, Hassan is definitely more MAGA than me, I gotta say.
This is perfect, by the way. You're really killing it. So you see the hat, right? Like I got that.
Yeah.
That's
I can't read it.
Make America Great
You
Again.
can't read it? You don't recognize this hat? Bob, I don't know if you have the highest level of MAGA. If you can't automatically read what the hat says.
I can't read. No, hell, screw it.
Okay.
Oh god, there was something I wanted to say about what the daughter was saying earlier. I don't remember what it was. I don't know, we'll just let it go.
I got another thing here. I'll put it up close to the camera. You can see. This is my Zin. Do you know what Zins are? It's a Zin tin of Donald Trump doing the fight right after he got almost assassinated by a godless atheist liberal Hillary Clinton voter. I got that.
Okay.
I got
So
Trump soap.
0 to 10 on the MAGA meter. Where do you think Hassan falls?
0.
It is weird that she keeps pronouncing it Maja, though. She'll continue pronouncing it Maja instead of MAGA.
He doesn't like Donald
0.
Trump.
I mean, look at all the MAGA
Okay.
stuff. I have more MAGA stuff than you do, I think, Bob. I'm gonna be honest.
I think you're out of your mind.
It's okay if you don't like Donald Trump.
I don't like Donald Trump. I love Donald Trump.
Oh my God.
No, you don't. I know you don't.
I don't know what you guys are
Are you trying to like reel us in?
This will impress you. I think, Bob, I'm trying to impress you. I think you can probably tell, but hold on. This is gonna impress you. I think. Hold on.
He's teasing us. You know this.
I don't believe anything he's saying anyway, so it doesn't matter.
He's teasing us. Oh yeah. that would be a 10 plus. That's a pretty good one.
So
How come you guys don't have that?
So now,
I feel like if you wore this, it's obviously. I don't know how you could wear this unironically.
the question is, how often do you wear that out in public?
Oh, regularly, always. I wear it out. I wear it out to the rallies when I go to the rallies, the Trump rallies, to the polls.
Yes, you do.
Okay.
I saw a really good one that said "Made you look, fuck Trump." That was a good one.
We get it. You don't like Donald Trump.
Wait, what do you mean, Bob? I feel like I'm out MAGAing you a little bit. I think.
I don't think you are, but I'm not going to go dig out my stuff.
I think you're a little impressed. I think you're a little impressed. It's like you can't admit it, but it's okay.
I kind of am.
No, he isn't. That's something he had to go dig out from behind him, and there's no way in hell he wears it in public.
Wait, he just said I'm not going to go dig out my stuff, and then he's saying, well, he's not really MAGA because he had to go dig that out from. Bro, you just okay.
Oh, gosh.
That's your complaint that he had to dig it out from behind him that he's not wearing it 24 hours.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
Not that he has a giant "Make America Great Again" cowboy.
Yeah, that's.
You're making us laugh.
You
I
need
do like
MAGA
this.
tattooed
You're
on
making
your
us laugh.
forehead.
See, we're getting somewhere. We're getting somewhere. So you, I was asking about communism, Bob, and you were telling me like, just look at Russia, look at China, and that's everything you need to know. But like, do you have any policy specifics about like what you think? Because Russia is not a communist country. It was the USSR was run by a communist party. It's no longer communist. The Russian government is a capitalist government. But at least with China,
Oh, give me a break.
What do you mean by that?
It's not a capitalist country.
You don't think Russia is a capitalist country?
No.
Oh, that was it. He was Oh, yes, he was talking about Russia and these countries being so like too authoritarian. Bro, do you see how the fucking Republican Party, MAGA, the far right, all that? Do you see how much they're cracking down and how authoritarian they are? Does that not fucking like bother? That's why there's the meme now of like the taking the "don't tread on me" snake and giving it a ball gag and saying "tread on me." Let's see if I can find it.
It's not.
Why do you think that?
Because it's not run like a capitalist. It's not run like our society. They have one guy that runs the entire country. If you don't believe that, you need to sit on your hat.
You don't think that's Trump?
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. I think Trump is pretty much also single-handedly running the country right now too. So I don't know. I don't think that's communism at all. Anyway,
we need to get it straight.
Okay.
And it's going to take one guy to lay his ball sack out there and do it.
do you think there's people like you in Russia that also feel the same way about Vladimir Putin?
Oh, I'm sure there are.
Okay.
But they're all locked up. They're in jail.
No, I meant like people who feel the same level about Vladimir Putin, like the same sympathy towards Vladimir Putin as you do about Donald Trump.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Okay, Dad, you're pro-Russia, right? We've talked many times on our show about how you want them to win the war against Ukraine.
Wait, so you want a communist?
Yeah, this is them now. They went from "don't tread on me." What the fuck? Don't tread on memes. All right, we'll take the meme out. From "don't tread on me" to "oh, tread on me, please, Daddy." Lick the boot. Let me lick that boot harder. Yeah. I don't know why that one got so small. Guess it's fitting for them. Yeah. Crazy.
This country to win the war against Ukraine?
Well, look, Obama gave away Crimea. Why don't we give away that little piece of the Ukraine to make peace over there? Ukraine's never going to win that war. That's an absolute impossibility because the only thing they got that they think is helping them.
Okay, he's pro-Russia. He's okay. It's like we don't like Russia because they're communists, but also we should just let Russia have our ally Ukraine. Like what?
With their defense is the United Nations, who couldn't defend an 80-year-old grandma sitting on her front porch.
Okay.
So my opinion is let's
and that's really important to them that 80-year-old grandmas are defended. 80-year-old grandmas and grandpas are defended. That might be their single issue voters on that actually.
give away the piece of the Ukraine that they've already taken, call it a day, and go back to the farm. Because the only thing Zelensky's doing is building himself.
The place, dude, you're appeasement. You're arguing for appeasement, which people, especially England, learned in World War II with trying to appease Hitler. That doesn't work. Like, what is he on about?
a big old fancy hotel and resort in Poland.
Okay, so you don't like Zelensky. I call him Zel Disney, by the way. He's a Mickey Mouse. He's Mickey Mouse president.
Yes.
But the question I have for you is, you criticized Obama for giving away Crimea, but now you're saying Trump should do the same about even more pieces of Ukrainian land. So is it good when Trump is doing it, but bad when Obama's doing it? Like, I'm just trying to understand where you're coming from.
Okay, it's a major difference. Obama helped out Crimea by handing them out some blankets. We've actually put some muscle where the might is, and Russia's quite frankly winning that battle. So without the United States, they're going to lose it anyway. And I don't think Zelensky gives a rat's ass about the Ukraine. He cares about Zelensky. So my opinion is you might as well give them what they've already taken, and then you'll have peace for another 5 or 10 years.
But in terms of that question that you were asked about, Obama does something, you hate it, Trump does something, you love it. We've gotten into that conversation a million times on our show, specifically where immigration is concerned and deportations.
You didn't pay any attention to what I just told you.
Yes, I listened to you and I'm watching.
So if Obama represented a more muscular defense for Ukraine and did not allow Russia to overtake Crimea, then you would be more comfortable with Obama? Like, one of the foreign policy disagreements you had with Obama was that he was too weak. Is that what it is?
Yes.
I think so too.
But now Donald Trump wants to, do even more damage to Ukraine, but that's good because it's an inevitability at this point. Because it kind of doesn't make sense. Because
that's why they like Trump, because he did more drone strikes than Obama. He's like, no, we need more drone strikes.
I guess the annexation of Crimea by Russia was bloodless in comparison to what has been going on for the past couple of years at this point, right?
That's correct.
So are you?
And I'll just give you a football analogy. They've already got past the 50-yard line. They're moving towards your goal line, and now what you want to do is defend the goal line. It's too late.
You're saying let them score a touchdown.
You're just Trump apologists, like through and through. It wouldn't matter what he does. You're always going to side with him. You have done it since we started the pod. It doesn't matter what he does. With Donald Trump, you don't care what he does.
Bob, is there something that Donald Trump has done that you don't think is good?
Donald Trump has America first.
What was the question? What was the question?
Is there something Trump has done that you disagree with?
Well,
the only thing I don't really disagree with him. I'm hoping that he hurries up and gets his Greenland deal done. Don't mess around with it.
Oh my God.
What deal do you perceive that to be? How do you think that deal is going to work?
We're going to become the 51st state of the United States, and that is a fact, Jack.
By doing what? How does that transpire?
What do you mean?
How does that work?
They go to Denmark and say, here's a few $100 million. Now we'll take over and be in charge of Denmark. And the people in Denmark won't get.
Maybe I don't even have to do the video specifically, because the way Bob is here is very much the way that conservatives who are just bullies are about this stuff, where they're like, oh, we just want to take Greenland. Why? Just because we can? The fuck?
Give a rat's ass, because their life will be a lot better off.
Okay.
Have you not seen the protests going on? Have you not seen the actual people, Greenlanders? They don't want any of this.
No, sure they don't.
He's been in Switzerland today. In fact, I think he might have already left.
But even that, he's like, yeah, of course they don't want us to take him. We're going to take him anyway. Piece of shit.
But anyway, he laid a framework for a peaceful support for everyone. He's got like a bunch of countries signed on to it now. He said he will not go in there and just take them over. He won't do what he said.
Yeah, he was just threatening to do that, I think.
Yeah, he was threatening.
There's another deal out on the table right now that I'm 100% for. He'll trade California for Greenland.
Who's he going to give California to? Denmark?
Yeah, I'm down, actually. Let's do it.
That's my point. Who in the hell?
Yeah, free healthcare.
Going to want him.
California's the 5th largest economy on the planet, isn't it? Like somewhere.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't think America would be better off without California, Bob. I feel like that's an un-American statement coming from you. I'm actually a little disappointed.
Well, let me
Let the real MAGA speak,
Let me ask you, I've lived in California now for...
fruits and vegetables. Let me tell you, we can take it over. We don't need California.
Okay.
In fact,
I will say, those of us on the left, we are actually the more MAGA, because we do actually want to make America great again.
half your state wants out of California. The northern half of Californians want to get out of California and create their own state.
Where are you reading this? Is this Newsmax?
But this is they actually had a petition up less than 5 years ago where the Northern Californians wanted to vote to become their own state.
I don't think Chad signed that one.
I don't think you saw that, did you, big boy?
I didn't, big boy.
Be nice.
I like that you're
Big boy?
calling me big boy. And this is the first 10 minutes of this was just a shot of your giant gut. All right.
Be nice. We're guests.
No, okay, so one thing that I will say, I don't think that even Bob is like too far, like beyond saving. But he's really fucking far gone. And he's really hard to reach. As much as Hassan is trying, as much as I would try if I spoke to the guy. But the mom, I think especially, is more open-minded, which is incredibly important for these kind of things. There are people that, like, you just will never move over. Bob might be one of those people, unfortunately.
We're guests.
Yes, we
Do
are.
you think if Northern California and Southern California split and then you have two major blue safe havens, do you think that would be better for America?
I don't think he'd have two blue states. I think he'd have one red and one blue.
Oh, you think California would become... How do you think California would become red if all of the major population hubs in California are deeply blue?
Okay, your problem is the people who support and pay for everything live in the north.
Huh?
It isn't your populous cities are not what drive the economy.
Wait, who drives the Californian
I
economy?
love... Yeah, man, LA does absolutely nothing for the economy. What the fuck?
if it's not the big cities in the tech sector and
The farmers.
okay.
Well, right now, it's Gavin Newsom.
How much farming's done in LA? Tell me, you live there.
Yeah, no, California's a major
Are you
agricultural
not-
producer, but I think you and I are going to have a little bit of a disagreement here because not only does California as a state subsidize states like Oklahoma, which I'm very fond of, by the way. I've been to Oklahoma many times. My brother used to live there. And
Are you now, or is that for true? Is that a true statement?
Where do you live?
no, I went to Oklahoma City only. I haven't really like branched outside of Oklahoma City too much, but I'm very familiar with the politics of the state of Oklahoma as well. And I have some friends that live there still. Are you guys familiar with I've Had It, ladies?
The who?
I've Had It.
Jennifer,
There's a
that lady, Jennifer and somebody else.
Oh wow,
Yeah,
you're
okay.
tapped in.
Yeah, my mom is with it. She's on the
Okay.
internet. My dad doesn't even use a cell phone.
Hey, you know what? Ask Chad who started our social media platforms. Go
Oh
ahead
my
and ask
God.
him.
When we first started the
Okay.
podcast, I didn't have time, so I said, "Mom, you can do all the social media," and it was a bunch of pictures of horses and butterflies. And then last year, I kind of took it over, started making some clips, so on and so forth. But yes, Mom, you did do it, and I appreciate that very much.
One of our platforms. I did Instagram, I did TikTok, and I don't like.
Yeah, as we're gonna see like more and more through this, the mom is like tapped in, and she does seem to genuinely have empathy, and is someone that is just more like, she seems like a good person who's just like misinformed and has drank the Kool-Aid.
Facebook, so we're not on there.
Wait, what
But I will say the daughter, as much as I like at least 4 of them here, the daughter is very much like the typical, like, stereotypical liberal with like the tattoos all over her neck, the colored hair, the nose piercing, the way that she talks. Like, she definitely does have that vibe. I'm not going to deny that. And of course, optically, like, that doesn't do much as far as like getting people to your side. Whereas Hassan has the opposite thing, where they've even called him like a left wing person in a right winger's body. And I've talked about this myself before, but like for me, like I started doing things to like exhibit like more masculinity and to align more with like what's the word, not generally, conventionally, like align with more conventionally attractive like image as I started moving further to the left. So like the idea, that's something like I want to push back on, and I think I'm going to do like a video on that concept more specifically at some point. But basically, like, there's the whole narrative that like, oh, left-wing people, all look like, well, like the daughter, and right-wing people all are like these conventionally attractive, really hot, whatever. And like, no, there are plenty of old, like, and not even just like because they're old, but there are plenty of right-wingers that look like Bob, for example, and there are plenty of left-wingers that look like someone like Hassan.
Like Facebook.
I don't like it. It's old people. I mean, older, and I don't like it. And I have a lot of nice friends on there that.
That's rough.
Yeah.
Poor Facebook. You got a 72-year-old woman saying people on Facebook are too old for.
Okay.
I like TikTok, Snappy,
That's hilarious, yeah.
Snapchat.
All right.
Okay, yeah, I don't like Facebook either. So I guess we're in agreement there. So you like TikTok. All right. So California agriculture is actually pretty important for the state. It's pretty important for the food supply for the rest of the nation. But Bob, I think you know this already, but a big part of the Californian agriculture actually comes from the people that are working at those farms, right? And
Right.
I think you know where I'm going with this. A lot of those people that work at those farms are migrant workers. Many of them documented, some of them undocumented as well. So how do you feel about Donald Trump's aggressive actions against these people that are working tirelessly to make sure that we can have food on our tables for
I keep trying to like move my thing out of the way when he puts stuff up like that.
a reasonable price?
I'm all for deporting anybody who's illegal, and we'll make do. Believe me.
But Trump did say in his
United States. Well, by the way, California. What do they borrow? $560 million a year from the United States to stay afloat. You guys are so far in debt, it's ridiculous.
Okay. Let me ask you this then.
Don't say California.
Yeah, I don't. It's so crazy, but like the right has this huge like issue with California. And they have for a long time. I don't really understand why they hate California so much, but they do.
Praises to me. They're a giant liability to the rest of us.
I just don't understand why you care. Why do you care if a migrant is here illegally or not? If they are working,
That was
producing, part of the economy, like why does that bother you so much?
It doesn't. That was his point of view.
What?
No, there's
No. But you're the one that has an issue with them being here.
not. So it's not only untrue, and it is actually blue states that subsidize the red states, specifically states like Oklahoma. But also outside of that, the Californian agricultural output is actually 3% of the overall Californian economy, which is still pretty significant. And it's especially important for food, right? Like, I mean, that's where the crops that we're picking come from. But it is ultimately still around 3% of the overall GDP in the state of California. I mean, it's very important. Almonds, cattle, pistachios, strawberries, lettuce, flowers, tomatoes, and oranges. And these are all things that I assume you
You
consume.
eat more tomatoes than you do bread.
What? No, I'm not saying it's not important. I'm saying it's very important. I'm just saying that it's not as big as a.
I think it's a yes or no question.
Yes or no?
No, I'm saying saying it's very important. I know how important agriculture is. That's why I'm saying California is a very important state for the nation. Even
well,
on
you get we'll be fine.
But Dad, with this
you
immigration,
just said you don't have tomatoes if California doesn't exist in the state.
Oh yeah, we will. We get those from Mexico.
by bombing them, we're going to
For
bomb them
now,
and steal
right.
the tomatoes. But Dad, you're kind of constantly also talking about like you don't care if Trump deports U.S. citizens or agitators or kills people or any of that. You're down for whatever he wants to do. You're playing it a little cool here, which I don't quite get. But you're so far beyond just supporting the idea that he's getting rid of the illegal aliens. On our show constantly, you're talking what?
I support that he gets rid of all illegal aliens.
But you also have stated that you support him deporting U.S. citizens who just don't agree with him.
I didn't
We
say
have
that.
never said
Oh
that.
my
That's a
God.
lie.
We never
Okay,
said that.
all right, sure.
I want the illegal criminals that are here, that are not citizens, that have criminal records, that are killing people, that are bringing in drugs. That's the ones I would like to see them go back. The ones that came over our border.
Sure, but what about people like Renee Good? When an ICE officer murders her in broad daylight, there's video of it everywhere all over the internet. You guys support that?
Well, you justify it because you think it's a
Yeah, and you got to remember too. This was before. Oh, I'm gone. This was before Alex Preddy, and of course now they're really moving. You know, ICE has basically failed in Minnesota, thanks to the people that stood against them. Remember, the people, you did this. You worked to push out fascism and maintain a semblance of like normalcy and human decency.
means to an end. You think that in killing these people and kidnapping these American citizens, like they're eventually going to get one of the bad guys, but that's not how this works. You
I knew
can't
we
do
were
that.
getting to the shooting of Renee Good. I do not want to
No
see
good.
anyone die. No one in the United States.
Jesus fucking H Christ! No, again, it's the they're just bullies thing. What does the dad immediately do? Oh, she's Renee no good, dude. He's just a fucking bully. Like, and that's the thing. That's what Trump really appealed to with all his stupid little like fucking nicknames and shit. Like, it's fucking, what do you call it? High school? Not high school. It's like elementary school playground insults. Like, these people they're children.
Whether you're an agitator, whether
Why
you're a
didn't she
criminal,
just get out of
whether
the car and take
you're
a
a
knee?
citizen, whether you're a child, whether you're an adult. I don't want to see people get killed. All she had to do was get out of the car.
All he
That's
had to do was not shoot her in the face 3 times.
And let her run over him.
Get out of the car, be handcuffed, go to jail,
Let her run
take it
over.
up with the judge, then you're dismissed.
Okay, so it's comply or die. That's the assessment, right? So if the same guys, like maybe ICE agents are in Oklahoma going door to door and they come to your house and, there's a miscommunication, let's say, when you're like pulling out of your driveway, like you would have to, that would just be an L that everyone would be holding in that situation. Like, God forbid,
That if they
they're going door
If
to
they
door.
tell you, if the law enforcement tells you to do something, just do it. You won't get shot. She tried to run the son of a bitch down and he had to go to the
But there
hospital.
was miscommunication because they were giving conflicting commands. He was actually in violation. Jonathan Ross was in violation of the code of conduct anyway. They're not supposed to be approaching the vehicle from the front. And not only was that a violation of even like the ICE agency
What did she
manual.
violate? What did she violate? Let's go the other way.
No, hold on. Well, let's walk through. Let's walk through this. Let's walk through this, and then I'll cover that side as well. One of the things that law enforcement does, which ICE isn't even a regular law enforcement, they technically are illegally detaining American citizens when they're detaining American citizens. That's not actually something that is in the purview of that's not something that they're allowed to do. But it's technically considered a legal gray area because how can you make the distinction whether or not someone is illegal, an undocumented immigrant, or a regular, documented U.S. citizen? But basically,
Yeah, they have no jurisdiction for actually arresting people that are full, like American citizens. Yeah.
what Jonathan Ross did in the process of executing Renee Good was violate a bunch of different things that he was not supposed to do. He wasn't supposed to approach a vehicle from the angle he approached. He was filming himself. He pulled his service weapon out and he shot Renee Good. And 2 of the shots actually landed at.
I'm just gonna stop trying to move my thing out of the here. I'll move it out of the way for this one, but I'm gonna stop. If you want to see the video itself, like, you're welcome to go to Hassan's channel, and many people are saying this is my best debate yet. Yeah, even he puts it in. I didn't like this. Oh, there we are.
After Renee Good had completed the turn. The first shot landed when the trajectory of the car was very clearly moving out of the direction. You can see that on numerous camera angles as well. And then they stopped her from actually receiving medical care as well. There was a physician on the site. They told him, no, you can't come in. And she bled out for 8 whole minutes, according to the doctors that treated her after she got to the hospital. Like, there were so many different issues there, right? I think we all want law enforcement, we want law and order, but we can't let bad cops and bad ICE agents, which are even worse than cops to begin with, get away with this kind of criminal behavior. Otherwise, we're gonna have lawlessness and disorder, right, Bob?
No, you would have had no problem with this if she just did what she was told. And by the way, you're already calling it an execution. I don't remember seeing a trial or anything.
There's not going to be one.
But that's the whole problem.
Oh, well, there you go. She was in the wrong and she got popped.
No. The problem is
You see that fucking disregard for humanity? What the fuck, dude? Well, there you go. She was in the wrong and she got popped. I think what we're seeing here is a dichotomy of people like the mother here who are misinformed, well-meaning but very misinformed, and then people like the father Bob who are honestly just human garbage.
Cops are not supposed to be judge, jury, executioner. He's not even a cop, he's an ICE agent, okay? But ICE agents are not supposed to be judge, jury, executioner. There was no due process, right? It's one of the most American concepts that even, a filthy un-American commie such as myself actually ride for. I love the First Amendment, and I certainly love due process. So when a member of law enforcement ends up shooting and killing someone on the spot, they're actually denying that person.
You said ICE is not a member of the law enforcement. So go back and retract this.
No, ICE is not. I said ICE is law enforcement. They don't have the same level of... No, you misunderstood me, Bob. I'm saying ICE is a federal law enforcement that is acting in the capacity of doing immigration enforcement. And as a part of that, they're technically not allowed to detain American citizens, but because...
they were talking earlier about how, like, these are what conversations with my family are like. I cannot imagine what it's like to have someone you love be this far gone. Again, I live in Florida. It's a red. It's not like deep red, but it's light red. Some pretty, people say some pretty crazy shit. I've not had this unempathetic conversation, this level of unempathy with anybody that I've, and granted, you could say, well, that's because, like, they're talking to you and, like, they're being more sensitive about, like, your beliefs and stuff. Maybe. But I'd like to believe they're just better than this.
They can't figure out who's an American citizen and who's not an American citizen, they take advantage of the legal gray area. And if they can do that, and they can avoid due process in that regard, if they can use administrative warrants to go into people's houses, they can one day come to your house too. And I don't think you want to live in a country like that, right? Where, members of law enforcement are not...
By the way, the people that are like this are the same ones that are like, they're like, my kids never see me anymore. Like, they left me in this, like, nursing home or whatever, and they never see me anymore. It's like, well, yeah, you became a piece of shit. Or maybe you were always a piece of shit. I don't know. But yeah.
Doing their jobs appropriately.
But are you worried about them coming to my house? Because
I worry a little bit about your house.
I mean, I have a bakery. We run cookies that literally say "fuck ICE."
And you run your mouth. Yeah.
Right. That's my right as an American. That's
First Amendment. Again, most important amendment.
freedom of speech.
That's right.
So to take that away is un-American.
Can
Coming to my home to arrest me for freedom of speech is wrong. You see that, right?
Depends on what you're promoting.
So you do not.
No, that's not the... No, that is not... Oh my god, you could just as well put out, like, a fucking conservative or whatever can put out cookies that say, like, I don't know, like fuck Mamdani or whatever, right? As long as you're not, like, directly calling for someone's, like, execution or whatever, like, you're fine, right? You are... I don't even know if that might even be protected under freedom of speech, but regardless, like, freedom of speech does not mean you only, like, this is the thing. So many of these people, like, this is the kind of conversations that I have had with, like, again, my friend that I was able to move over on some things. The issues that he gave me when he was, like, basically, like, why he is, like, more, like, right-wing and stuff, he was like, well, I remember, we used to be able to say, like, the F slur and and stuff like that, and now all of a sudden we can't say it because people are so offended and all that stuff, and everyone's like, liberal snowflake and all these different things, and I'm like, so you voted for fascism because you can't say certain words anymore, right? Like it's not socially acceptable. Not like you'll get arrested or anything, but it's not socially acceptable for you to say certain words anymore, right? Yeah, and that is literally why a lot of these people voted for Trump and have continued to do so. And Bob is a prime example of that. It's politics of spite, and it's so fucking vitriolic and just selfish and small-minded, and I don't know. I know it might be confusing because, like, I started this and everything, and I do think this is a good example of, like, meeting people where they're at and moving them over. That is the mom. The dad, I don't know. I don't know. I'll leave it at that.
Believe in freedom of speech.
No, I believe
you and Donald Trump.
I've said this before. There's a fine line in the protesting, the rioting, the consequences once you step over the line. If I was out in my street right now, well, let me start this way too. I've watched that clip over and over, all different angles. I've even watched the clip the 3 minutes prior before she got shot. I wasn't there. You guys weren't there. So going on all the clips on everything I've read and pulled from all the different sites, then you make your own judgment call. When I first saw some of that and hadn't seen all of the clips and everything, I was going, oh my gosh, that's not right. That's terrible. But then once I watched more clips and where they slowed it down and I could hear different things and I could hear the police say, get out of the car, get out of the car. I said, my God, why didn't you get out of the car?
I'm not getting out of the car. Does that mean I deserve it?
You know we don't want that. I don't want it for anyone, including you and Chad. So quit trying to put words in your mouth like you always do.
He should be smart enough not to take the chance.
If I was
his own kids. The mom has empathy. The mom's like, well, no, of course I don't want you guys to die. Don't put words in my mouth. And the dad's like, yeah, well, tell you what, you fucking listen to them, otherwise you're gonna get popped. Holy shit, dude, this is fucking crazy.
I don't even think I should be defunded. I don't believe that I should exist. Why am I complying with this?
You know what? We wouldn't have ICE.
And all the fucking people in ICE need to be fucking tried, just like the Nuremberg trials.
If we had a secure border.
If we hadn't had Joe Biden's open borders, we wouldn't need ICE.
I really believe that.
It all comes back to Biden.
Why are y'all laughing? No, it was the border. We just let anybody and everybody in.
Like Renee Good, they let her across the border.
What your thoughts are on that?
Renee Good didn't cross the border.
You can't catch Bob like that. Bob is real MAGA. That's crazy. I saw what Chad was doing, Bob. I got your back. I got your back.
I was trying to trick him.
Yeah.
He got me.
He's doing liberal mind games here. I noticed that. I'm with you. I'm with you all the way.
I literally never tried to trick you. What are you talking about?
You tried to trick us with the med bag? Tried to trick us with Bible quotes? You always try to trick us.
Trick us with Bible quotes? No, he's quoting the Bible to you and exposing how the things that you fucking MAGA retards believe is so antithetical to the stuff that Jesus fucking taught. Like, holy shit. Oh.
Trump thought it was real. I'm not tricking you. He is tricking you.
I think the med bed is real too, by the way. So I just want to
my dad thought he was going to get one. Thought he was going to get a free med bed from Donald Trump.
Bob, I think that's aspirational.
I'll be right back. He has to go to the restroom. I'm sorry.
Okay, Bob, before you go to the restroom, I think that's aspirational, and I like that you wanted the med bed.
Yeah, I want one too. I just don't think they're real.
I want one too.
Yeah, there you go. That's like, okay, how about if instead of med beds for all, we do Medicare for all? What do you guys think about that?
Well, that is... He just said no as he's running to the bathroom.
We heard Bob.
Oh my God.
Right, but Mom, you believe in universal health care. You think that everyone should have health care, yeah?
They deserve health care. Of course they do.
See, and now this is a great thing too, right? When you remove people from the other one that they are like kind of in this cult mindset with, you are able to speak to them, speak to their values, and look at how this goes.
Of course they do, and we do have it. I mean, if there was someone without health care and they got injured, they go to a hospital and they do get care. They either write off,
and they become medically bankrupt.
They write off their big bills, or they let the people pay it off in segments. Because I have friends that way that have no health care themselves. They can't afford it right now. So when they get hurt, they do go to the hospital, Haley, and they get fixed up.
You're missing the point. So people who have universal health care in other countries, part of their taxes kick into that. Okay, so when you go to the doctor, you're paying $20 for a fucking surgery. Here in the United States, we're screwed. Okay, premiums are at an all-time high. A surgery here for any
$20. Oh my God, that's amazing.
one is thousands, tens of thousands of dollars.
Yes.
That sends you into medical bankruptcy. You're done.
Not bankruptcy. They will help write it off. But I do believe
they won't. I don't. Yeah, like I said, well-meaning, but so like uninformed.
medical is out of control. It needs
what kind of magical write-off are you talking about?
Let's say it was $500,000 or $600,000. I had a friend with a bill that high. It was an emergency, and they wrote it off and helped her with it.
Let me ask the three of you: do any of you or all of you know the difference between Medicare and Medicaid? Do you know the difference?
Okay.
Yeah, I'm a professional political commentator.
I love that. He's like, yeah, it's my fucking job. I should know what it is.
Like the past 12 years, I'm very familiar.
Okay.
All right. So Medicare, Medicare is for people who have worked and contributed to the fund. If you never had a job, you don't deserve Medicaid or Medicare. You're on Medicaid, which that bill that you say who forgives the bill, the hospital lets you walk through the emergency room for free, and you know who pays that bill? Me and your mother.
Okay. Not always. I don't.
Look, listen, I'm cool with paying for people to have medical benefits. That doesn't bother me. So if we could live in a country where like we're all kicking in and everybody gets insured, I'm down for that. I don't want somebody to go to the hospital and not be able to get life-saving care. Like I don't want that. Why do you want that?
I don't think there's a place like that now.
I don't care whether.
Oh my God, they just don't know. She doesn't know about like fucking social democratic countries in like Norway and stuff. What the fuck?
Every other place is like that. Every other country is like that.
Every other developed democracy.
Like we are the only country, we're unique in the sense that we have medical bankruptcy as a concept here in this country, and it is an incredibly costly endeavor because we don't have socialized healthcare in this country. We do. We have it for you, Bob. You get Medicare. It's one version of that, but even then, the entire reason why healthcare is as costly as it is because we have this parasitic middleman called healthcare providers, insurance providers that are actually not working to make this cheaper at all. And as a matter of fact, they benefit from how costly healthcare is in general. If this entire industry did not exist, and it doesn't exist in many other countries, as a matter of fact, like I said, we are unique in the sense that we have private healthcare in the way that we do, and we have no alternative. We have no government alternative. And that is the reason why healthcare is so costly in this country. So if we were to abolish the private healthcare sector in its entirety and have the government control this healthcare process, it would literally be cheaper for every single person, including yourselves. You would be paying less for your healthcare. Well, maybe not you guys because you're on Medicare, but you'd be paying less for your healthcare overall, and you would be paying it in the form of taxes, and everyone could just go to the hospital and get preventative care and not just only exhaust the hospitals at the point of no return when they have to use an emergency.
Yeah, so like speaking for myself here, I don't have Medicare. I don't have health care because I can't afford it. Like the jobs that right now I'm between jobs. I'm actually about to start a new job. But at the time of recording, by the time, no, this is going up later tonight. So yeah, at the time of recording, I'm about to start a new job. But in the meantime, if something horrible were to happen to me, and even then, like after I start that, when you start a new job, you have to wait 3 months for your medical benefits to even kick in. So I have to have a job, be there for at least 3 months, and then I have to pay, I don't know, 200 plus at least for like very basic Medicare. And that's not like what they, you know, and then there's there's deductibles and there's all this shit that goes into it where like they don't even kick in until you pay like $1,500 or whatever. I had a plan where it was like $1,500. I don't remember what my most recent plan was, but things like that. It's horrific. And then people choose to not have, you know, like life-saving surgery or whatever else it might be because they can't afford it. Like you should not have to choose between paying your bills and getting sicker or having like a physical whatever ailment or, you know, whatever, versus not, you know, paying fuck, what was I gonna say, versus not paying your bills and having to, you know, like pay for, you know, medical stuff. Like it's ridiculous.
Emergency room.
Tell us about
Medicare, medical, not insurance, assurance is a human right.
Obamacare then. Why was that not any good? And like premium sky high and
Because Obamacare Obamacare, the Affordable Care Act, was actually created, and this might come as a surprise to you guys, by Republicans in a right-wing think tank called the Heritage Foundation in the 90s, right? And it was first implemented by Romney in the state of Massachusetts. The reason why they created this, healthcare system, was because they wanted an alternative to socialized medicine. They wanted to make sure that we don't get Medicare for all. So they were like, here, this is the alternative. It's still a subsidy. It's still a subsidy to private insurance. I don't want private insurance to exist in the country. Or if it exists, I want it to be heavily regulated, and I want that private insurance to only cover things that are, you know, like plastic surgeries or whatever, and not life-saving or preventative healthcare that everybody needs to get. This would make this process would make the entire system more affordable overall. It would be less costly, it would be more affordable, and it would be more efficient.
okay.
But Dad, you're against that. We heard you while you're peeing say no, you don't want this.
I'm for having free insurance for people who paid into the fund.
Okay, like taxes.
Beyond that, you've got an argument with me on who gets it and who don't.
But tell me then, why is Obamacare, like they said now, the premiums are like sky high?
Double, triple.
Yeah, the reason why is because they did not tackle the private function of healthcare. Healthcare makes money off of denying you healthcare coverage. You pay into it, and then they do everything in their power to make sure that they don't pay your hospital bill. That's how they make money. Okay, so it's working against your interests.
Is that Medicare?
No, just healthcare in general. I'm saying like private healthcare makes money.
We don't get denied anything in Medicare.
What did you? I'm sorry, what?
I said you're wrong about us having to pay extra for healthcare above and beyond what we're paying for Medicare. That's not true. That's a false statement.
There's some things that have to be pre-authorized though now.
But we get it all covered.
Okay, so yeah,
we're not dribbling out the back door
because we're old.
No, I know. That's why I'm saying everyone should pay into it with taxes. And obviously not like children or the elderly that are no longer working, but everyone should pay into it and have one major pool of tax-funded healthcare that we take out of.
It won't change until Democrats and Republicans agree on it, and we'll be dead by then.
But there's also these powerful lobbyists that are in the medical insurance field that are paying all these politicians to make sure a bill like that would never pass. It's all about money and whose pocket can get greased so that this will never happen in this country. And you understand that Donald Trump is a part of that. All he cares about is money.
Okay, no, he cares about America.
We just talked about the 500.
Oh my God. This is how you know it's like a cult mentality thing, right? You can walk them through a position, get them on board, and then when you say, oh, well, you know, it's like that meme. It's like, what's something people will agree with in its entirety until you say its name? And then socialism is the answer. But in this case, it's like, okay, there's da-da-da-da. And Trump is actually the one like causing these issues. Oh, no, that can't be right. It's like, okay, like, come on, dude. You were so close. You were so close. People do the same kind of thing. Again, very culty, very like dogmatic, bought into religion kind of thing. People do the same thing with religion all the time, where you can talk to them about like atrocities that like the God of the Bible has committed or what have you, say these horrible things, and then point out, yeah, you know those stories are in the Bible. Those are things God did. Oh, well, then it's like, oh yeah, no, that's terrible. Like that's such an evil, creature or whatever. It's like, yeah, those are stories that the God of the Bible did. Oh, well, then he must have had a reason. Oh my God, the fucking mental gymnastics don't end with that shit. And it's the same kind of thing with this.
$1 million he's got parked at a bank account in Qatar that he got from selling the Venezuelan stolen oil. You don't think he cares about money?
Yeah, so we can move it around.
Move it around for what though?
Bank account?
He's going to make sure it goes to the right place.
Benefit.
There's a lot of belief in Trump. I'm wondering what he has done for you specifically that you feel like has improved your life specifically, that makes you feel confident that he's got your best interest in mind.
Well, since he became president, we're making more money than we ever.
Also, by the way, we like people who are working, especially young people who don't use insurance much themselves, are already paying into Medicaid, as he was talking about. We already are paying for like the elderly's in health insurance. Why don't we just pay for everybody's? Like everybody just pays for everybody's through fucking taxes.
We're having our life is without working.
My gasoline was the cheapest.
We're getting more. We're getting more Social Security. We're getting higher interest rates on our money that we have in the bank, and we're doing damn well.
See, what you have to understand is that they have zero empathy for others. So it's like a me. So as long
No,
as
that 100%. No. This she's spot on here. This is because that's what that's what a lot of these conservatives demonstrate time after time. You saw it with like with cutting with student debt forgiveness. Well, I paid off mine, so why shouldn't they should have to suffer too, bro? Okay, then why the fuck do we have a polio vaccine? Shouldn't there were people that died of polio? Like if the people who believed that like back then about polio, we wouldn't have a fucking polio vaccine or measles or like any of these any benefit like no. There would never be any new benefits to society. Well, I suffered, so they should have to suffer too. That's always what it's about with many of these people. It's fucking crazy, dude.
I'm benefiting.
And you'd think that especially parents would want to make the world better for their own kids.
As long as I'm winning, that's all that matters. It's the same with healthcare. You guys are covered. You guys are insured. To hell with everyone else. You
Right.
have this mental block where you just do not give a shit about anyone else.
You're fighting mad today, Haley, aren't
And
you?
the fucking dad fucking... That's right. Fuck everyone else. I got mine. Fuck you. Piece of shit.
Dad's nodding.
I'm
What do you
not-
mean? Dad's agreeing with her.
Every day. I live in
care
this
about you.
country and I read the news every day. I can't help but be mad.
I'm sorry you feel that way.
So
I care about other people.
You have alternatives. If America's not right for you, hit the road.
Where would you go?
God fucking... I feel so bad. I feel so fucking bad for the kids. I feel so fucking bad. Especially the daughter. Oh my God. I cannot imagine. I can't. It must be so horrific to have your parents turn into this. Like this is, it's so, especially the dad.
Waiting for midterms to see how this goes.
You know what you do? You move to some country that's got healthcare for everybody and see how your lifestyle is.
I mean, that's Switzerland. I'd give anything to live there. That's
God, me too. Oh my God, I'd fucking love to move to Switzerland. God, Switzerland, Sweden. There's a couple other countries. But it's hard to get into these countries, especially without like a lot of money already or without knowing someone. And it's I've thought about it too, a lot. Oops, I keep fucking doing that.
Scotland. Like name a Nordic country, name a European country. You're not understanding because you've never traveled outside this country. But there are
Don't
places
have
that
to.
are much better when it comes to healthcare.
Don't have to. Oh my God. He's ignorant and he's proud.
We've had this discussion
But
before.
then you got to put up with the rest of the bullshit,
Dad,
which isn't as good as here.
don't listen to Dad.
The what-
Rest of what bullshit? What is it? What?
Not as
Sorry,
good as here?
like constitutionalizing abortion in France, because I'm down for that. I live in
There you
Texas,
go.
one of the most oppressive states in the entire
Well,
country.
you pick one thing that's good out of a country, and that's going to make you move there. That's not too bright.
I mean, there's I think a lot of stuff that's pretty good. Europe has its own issues as well, and so do these other countries. But there's a lot of stuff that their governments do right, and I think it's important to learn from those lessons and try to incorporate them here to make America great, like truly great. So as far as like
Again, you might say.
universalizing the pain, one angle that I wanted to talk about is homelessness, right? Like there's a lot of homeless people on the streets, and I don't think anybody wants to see other human beings living out on the streets, right? Like you guys don't like that, right? It
No.
shows that this is like a chaotic.
Yeah, by the way, like other countries, they did this during the first Trump admin, and they do it now. They're laughing at us, and they're scared because so much of the world is following in the steps of Trump, and it's really fucking scary.
system.
I agree with you on that.
Yeah, so would you say that is a byproduct of the government failing?
Not necessarily. I think there's a lot of other things that contribute to homelessness. Half those people are drug addicts, and they choose to be homeless. So I don't think you can blame that on the government.
Okay.
They choose to be homeless. Oh. Okay.
No one
homeless people
chooses
choose
to
to be
be
homeless.
homeless.
One thing I would say the government did wrong with the homeless people is encourage them to be addicts over the last couple of years.
This is why I don't do debate. My heart is like racing. I can't fucking. Oh my god! This is why I don't do debate. Well, okay. Honestly, the reason I don't do debates is because I'm not good at like coming up with like rebuttals and stuff in the moment. I tend to be a more conciliatory person in conversation. So while I can have a conversation with someone that I have rapport with and I can, discuss with them and try to move them over on things, if they are a good debater themselves, I am going to struggle with debating them because I'm just not good at coming up with shit on the fly.
They make up. Well, they open up places where they can go in and get their drugs for free and let them go out and lay on the
You're
street.
insane.
Being a drug addict should be treated like any other addict thing. It is not a crime. It is essentially a disease and should be treated as a disease or a mental condition, something where you are able to get help. And yes, a lot of that help does often involve being in a controlled environment where you can be weaned off of the substance and get your life back on track.
San Francisco, they take a crap on the street.
He's talking about safe needle injection sites and things like that. They've actually been very successful, especially the mass distribution of Narcan under Biden, who I hate, by the way. Just so you know, that's not even a joke. I hate Biden. Wasn't a big fan of Kamala either. Not a big fan of the Democratic Party. But that's maybe an area that we can agree on. Having said that,
yeah, this is a funny thing. You got these fucking MAGA people who are so like always sucking Trump's dick, and then they think we're that way about left wing, like the Democrats and stuff too. No, I'm not even that way about Mamdani, and I really fucking like Mamdani. Like, I really want him to. God, I wish he was born here so he could be fucking president. I really do.
of course,
What? Where do you stand?
Well, I stand firmly outside of the American two-party system.
But they don't they can't understand that. Like, again, my friend who I moved over on some stuff, he always calls me a liberal, and I'm like, I fucking hate liberals. I'm not a liberal. Like, what are you talking about?
I'm much, much further to the left than at least this current iteration of the Democratic Party.
This is something that we talk about on our show a lot too. Haley and I are very similar to that. And you guys always look at us and you're like, you love Biden, you're Democrats. And it's like, no, we're not really.
No.
We're just very much against Trump and very much not right. But the two-party system, Haley and I also think it just doesn't work. We're at a point where we're seeing the complete failure of it now and the ability for an authoritarian to come in and exploit it for personal gain. But you guys think we are like hardcore Biden supporters. That has never been the case.
Here's what I don't understand. Why you and Haley don't love the American flag. You don't have patriotism. Okay, now hush. Y'all laugh at this one. I sat at my father's funeral with the gun salute going off when they handed me the perfectly folded triangle flag for my father's service.
Yeah.
That's gut-wrenching to me.
Sure.
That's the reason you get to sit here and run your mouth.
I had so much pride that day. And that's the stuff that you guys will never feel. And that makes me sad.
Why? Okay, first of all, it always pisses me off when people are like, you have the freedom of speech, so you shouldn't use it. What? Well, you have the freedom of you should love this country. You have freedom of speech. Yeah, I'm using my freedom of speech to critique issues that I have so we can make it better. Well, you shouldn't. You should be happy and you shouldn't say anything. So I shouldn't use my freedom of speech? That's right. Okay. The fuck? And this obsession, like, we do not have this level of, I don't know what the right word, like, again, like cultish, almost religious reverence that we have for the flag and the national anthem and all this patriotic bullshit are not things that other countries have. They do not sing "God Save the Queen" before every British football game. And when I say football, I mean football, what we Americans call soccer. They do not, because the rest of the world, this is another thing to fucking American only kind of people, but like the rest of the world loves soccer, what we call soccer, not American football. I know that's a crazy thought that anybody could possibly, that there's even a world that exists outside of America, but there is. It's just, it's so, I don't even know. It's yeah, fuck, I don't even, yeah.
Sorry, Haley, go ahead.
There's I think innately, like within me, even since I was a kid, like stand and do the Pledge of Allegiance. In my mind, I'm telling myself, you can't.
Yes, no, the Pledge of Allegiance, and like how I said, they don't sing, they're not singing "God Save the Queen." We sing, for like non-Americans that might not be into sports or whatever, we sing the fucking national anthem we sing it at the fucking Super Bowl. Like, we sing it at every fucking thing And it's like, why? What does this have to do with America, like patriotism and like America's, like it's stupid. It's fucking stupid. But it's that constant cultish reinforcing this bullshit. Yeah.
Tell me what to do. I'm not going to follow this shit blindly.
Like, there's nothing wrong with, I don't know. I think it's dumb to have like pride in your country or state or whatever, because like fucking you could have easily been born anywhere else, you know? I don't know. I don't know. It's just tribal lowest common denominator nonsense.
Okay.
And so I
you
just-
were a long time ago. You're
Like when you were like 6.
But it means something to a lot of people. It's one of those things where like we have to meet them where they're at and be like, okay, like it's not the worst thing. It's not the end of the world or whatever, you know.
Or
a
7.
rebel.
Woo.
You're a rebel.
You had a grip on it.
Okay. So
The flag is just a symbol,
There-
but it's interestingly in this country because of like burning of the flag is part of freedom of speech. But Trump says that should be outlawed. And we're
Not
going to throw you
anymore.
in jail for it.
Not anymore, it isn't. You go to jail on that, buddy.
Right. So
I just
that
don't-
10 seconds ago, you were like, "That's your freedom of speech." Now you're shitting on freedom of speech.
No, I'm not.
Okay.
this is not the
Oh my god. You just did. How are they so... You should have the freedom of speech. Okay, burning the flag is freedom of speech. Not anymore. What? So you're... I mean, we know that they're anti-freedom of speech, but like, holy shit.
this is not the country that I anticipated like raising children in. And
Yeah.
again, like when I was younger, I didn't really pay attention to politics. But as I became
I feel so bad for like parents like her too. Like it must be horrific.
older, became a parent, everything really clicked, and I started to recognize that this isn't the actual country I thought it was. And as I'm living through, again, Texas, one of the most oppressive states in the United States, I don't want to be here. You know, I wake up every day with anxiety just reading another story about just atrocities happening right in my backyard.
How do your kids turn out, in your opinion?
My kids are awesome.
All right.
And they grew up in
grew up in
Texas.
the United States of America.
And Texas.
Under our flag.
You think
And
the
wanna
flag made
live-
them good kids?
It's
Okay.
under the flag of America.
Like pride.
What does that have to do with anything?
You two don't even understand what that damn flag stands for.
Shouldn't have brought up
It
the
isn't
flag.
about you and your kids. It's about the thousands
That died
of
for our freedom.
soldiers who have died
For our freedom.
to let you sit here.
Oh no, it's crazy. Like this is the shit these people care about. It's like, and a lot of them don't know shit. Like my dad pointed out, he was like, he said something about, well, I didn't like when they did some, and I think Trump actually did it. He was like, I didn't like how they put these gold whatever, like this gold trimming on the flag. Now that's disrespectful to the flag. And I looked it up and what it's about and what it represents. And I was like, no, here's what it is. Like, oh, well, I guess it's okay then. It's like, why are you people so? Why do you care so much about the stupid shit that doesn't matter? Burning the flag, be locked up. Medicare, healthcare for everyone, free healthcare for everyone. No, that's communist. Oh my fucking god, dude.
Run your mouth.
For our freedom.
Okay. I think the flag represents the people, right? Without the people, there is no nation.
Right.
And I think
Right.
it's the most patriotic thing you can do.
It depends. Depends who you are. There's a lot of countries who would say that flag represents oppression and tyranny and colonialism.
Want what's best for your country and want what's best for your fellow countrymen, right? Do we agree on that?
Yes.
Depends on who you consider to be my fellow countrymen.
Yeah.
Okay.
What the fuck does that even mean? The people that live in your goddamn country, you troglodyte. I'm getting a lot of use out of that word, by the way.
Not everybody who
Am
resides.
I using that? Hold up. Let me make sure that's not like a fucking... I'm sure... Let me see. Before I get like some kind of... I mean, I don't know. Fucking troglodyte meaning. Okay. It's probably the right word. A priest... yeah, it's a good word. It's a good word to use. Okay. Yeah, I thought it meant like dumb Neanderthal or something. Yeah. Okay, yeah, it's a good word. I'm gonna keep using it.
Resides in the United States is a fellow countryman to me.
Well, I think America actually is. Here's another thing that I love about America. America actually is one of the few countries.
What did you say?
To me. Who you consider to be my fellow countrymen.
Yeah.
Okay.
Not
Well,
everybody who resides in the United States is a fellow countryman to me.
well,
I would just, if you're on this land, you're a fellow countryman. Like, how is that? Okay.
I think America actually is. Here's another thing that I love about America. America actually is one of the few countries on the planet where what you're saying, Bob, is actually entirely incorrect. There's never, with the exception of Native Americans that have been here before our forefathers got here. Every single person in the United States of America that came to the United States of America that became multiple generation Americans came from somewhere else, right? That's correct, right, Bob? Dad?
Yeah, and as horrific as it is what we did to the Indians of Native America, I've heard. Okay, this is like a. I've heard there are Native Americans that don't want to be called Native American. They prefer being called Indians. So, like, I don't know. I typically just refer to them as Native Americans, though, because that's what they were. They aren't from India. But regardless, the horrific things that the colonialists have done to the natives, what America became as this symbol of like people can come from all over the world, and people did come from all over the world to make this the country that it is, warts and all, is actually really fucking beautiful. The Statue of Liberty is such a beautiful, important, like, symbol of I would argue the Statue of Liberty might be a more important symbol than the American flag. Or at least on par.
What are you doing? You watching Newsmax? What's going on over there?
No.
You standing in space?
I turned it off.
Okay,
thank you.
But Bob, you agree with that, right? Like, I mean, your great grandparents probably came here at a certain point, right?
Yeah.
Where'd they come from?
Germany, Luxembourg.
And they became American, and you became American as a part of that. And I think there's no difference between your great grandparents when they first came here and were regarded as being swarthy and not Anglican blood, as Benjamin Franklin once famously wrote about, when they were initially considered not real.
Yes, he said Germans had too swarthy of a complexion to be considered white.
Americans, I'm sure they experienced some of that.
And of course, we had the same thing about 100 years ago with the Italians and the Irish. It's a big part of why I personally believe that the whole gingers have no soul and all the like ginger stuff is I think that is a remnant of hatred of the Irish. But yeah, it used to be like, Italian people, Irish people, like, don't apply here or whatever, stuff like that. Yeah.
That same exact bigotry that you're dishing out right now, but I think that's the beauty of America.
And now they're all considered white.
People come in from all.
And I've said this many times before. There are plenty of brown, like Latin people, Middle Eastern people, what have you, that are whiter than white people.
All different parts of the world, and
like not all white people, but like there are people who are considered white, where the Latin people or what have you are actually whiter than them, like color-wise.
For 2 generations, they become American.
Oh, yeah? So you believe that's what Somalia is up to right now? They're going to become second generation of Patriot Americans?
They already have.
Yeah, I was going to, yeah.
Somali Americans are 95% American citizens.
Yeah, and they're all bad.
They're all bad.
They're all bad. Oh my God. This is why I speak so much against like the essentialization of like people groups and stuff like this too. Like it's so... How do you just look at like a race of people and they're all bad? Like you're just... Okay.
Yes.
Okay, I don't think so, but I don't think there's a difference. Here's the big point of contention, right? I don't think someone coming from a different country and then coming to the United States of America has a different set of values or a different set of interests than someone like yourself. They all want a roof over their heads, they want a hot meal on their table, they want clothes on their back, and they want a better future for their children. And I think that is what unites all of us, all around the world, as a matter of fact. Whether they're coming from Somalia or whether they're coming from Germany, it doesn't change that. It doesn't change that at all.
What'd you say, Dan?
I said, yeah, we're all getting along really well too.
You know what though?
Well, we could if people like you would just fucking accept them. What?
My great-great-grandparents, they came across Ellis Island, all of that. They had to put down where they were going, where they were traveling, where they wanted to farmstead. Within, I think, 3 years, if I remember the story right, my grandmother said, then they did have to say they were citizens. They wanted to become citizens and sign a document of something and no English. So,
okay, that's really interesting you're saying that because that's precisely what happened with the Somali population.
But they're
here for a wrong reason.
What do you think that reason is?
I think they're here to actually cause chaos and corruption and take over the United States.
There sure is a lot of fraud in Minnesota.
And they're stealing money to get away with it.
And you think this is happening 100% blanket, as you said earlier, all of them are bad. You believe every Somali in the United States is part of this scheme?
I think they live in that neighborhood and they've got that mindset. Yes.
They're not all bad. He's wrong.
I don't know any of them.
Yeah,
you know they're all bad?
Yes.
See, there's glimmers of hope with the mom here, where she's even saying, well, they're not all bad, he's wrong. Like, and then you got the dad who's like, oh no, they're all bad. Get him out of here. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
So how are you coming to that conclusion? This is Newsmax. Look, I started
set up schools with no kids in them. Get paid $800 a day per child. And what are they doing with that money? They're sending it back home.
Okay, well, they can do whatever they want with the money they make. I started watching Newsmax because of you guys. I watch it for about at least 10 or 15 minutes a day. All they're doing right now is just pumping that Somali fraud straight into your brains 24 hours a day. That's what essentially their whole channel is doing that now. And you guys believe it because you're not watching anything else.
I need to switch gears here for a second because the thing that you were saying about Somalia is like you've seen one case of fraud, and it was actually a white woman that set the entire fraud thing up. It's called, her name was Amy Bach. But yes, a lot of the co-defendants, the overwhelming majority of the co-defendants in this one specific case where they were taking money from the government to feed children, they were actually misattributing the funds and putting them back directly in their pockets, and the majority of the co-defendants were Somali. So that doesn't mean that all Somalis are engaging in this, just like Donald Trump is of German descent, and he was responsible for he's criminally liable for fraud, but I don't think every single German American is also doing fraud in the same exact way. That's just one individual case. But the question I have for you is, who do you think is a larger burden on American taxpayers in terms of like constantly receiving funds and never giving back, Israel or Somalia?
Well, on a scale, it's got to be Israel.
Oh, okay. So I think we have another area of agreement here. What do you guys think about Israel?
Love them. Know.
You love them.
I have an issue with us spending too much money on not the American people directly, i.e., not people like me, i.e., white people. Okay, well, who's the bigger drain on our like as far as like subsidies and stuff go? Israel or Somalians or whatever. What did he say? Okay.
In terms of like constantly receiving funds and never giving back, Israel or Somalia?
Well,
Yeah, that's what I thought. Somalia, yeah. And then he says, "Oh, Israel's the bigger drain." Oh, okay. Well, what do you think of Israel? I love him, bro. A modicum of consistency, please.
scale, it's got
You love them.
Oh no.
the only thing that stand between us and Iran.
You know what? I'm not even going to talk. That's okay. Never mind.
What do you mean, Mom? You got something to say? Say it.
I don't think she
I
likes
think
Israel.
I think they had something to do with Charlie. I really think they had something to do with Charlie.
Oh,
What do you think
no.
it had to do with it?
You been watching that Candace Owens?
Yeah.
I do
Yes,
watch
yes.
her, but just some things are just not adding up. I like at night sometimes when I can't sleep, I'll just start clicking on stuff and reading.
Charlie
I'm
Kirk.
very sad. I'm very sad what happened to him. I don't think we're ever going to figure it out, or at least if someone knows, they're not going to tell us the truth. It scares me now that I don't know his wife, but some things are just not adding up now. I don't know. I don't know.
Okay, another area of somewhat agreement. Okay, that's good. Bob, what do you think? You think Benjamin Netanyahu
I mean, I don't think his wife really gave a shit about him at all.
slimed Charlie Kirk?
Do I think he did what?
It slimed him, like he
I
iced
know.
him. He killed him.
I'm alive.
Oh, do I think that
Unalived. She knows the TikTok shit.
Netanyahu killed him?
Yeah.
I don't think Netanyahu necessarily killed him, but I wouldn't surprise me if the Israelis had something to do with it.
Okay.
Can I ask you this question too? I've asked this to a couple of my friends, and they're like, I don't know, murder. Why can we not say someone was killed anymore? We have to use that word unalive.
It's TikTok. It's TikTok because TikTok terms of service bans you if you say killed. I say killed. I was just joking when I said slimed. I say killed all the time.
Okay.
You can say whatever you want, just not on TikTok, I guess.
Yeah.
Well, it's cultural then. It's like a cultural thing.
Well, no, it's like a TikTok censorship bullshit. I don't even know if you can swear. I don't know. I hate it. It's so fucked, man. It's so like the internet. What used to be so cool about the internet is like it was like more like kind of like the Wild West, where like people could just do what they want, say what they want, etc. Obviously, there were some bad parts of this too, but like now we have, and you can't even say like kill or like you have to talk about really serious things like murder and rape as unalive and grape, like, and everyone knows what you're talking about. So what are you even protecting? Like, it's so stupid.
No, it's just-
But other than
You
Charlie
get
Kirk,
banned.
other than your attitudes about Charlie Kirk and Israel's potential involvement in his assassination, you guys are huge supporters of Israel and everything they're doing right now.
Yeah, they have to be stronger than anybody else in the Middle East.
Yeah,
And we have to maintain that.
Something's fishy with Charlie. You met Charlie, didn't you?
It's not about
I
you.
debated him. Yeah, I
It's
debated him
about-
twice, and I was supposed to debate him before he got killed, maybe potentially by the state of Israel. I was supposed to debate him 2 weeks prior to his assassination.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Oh wow. So
Yeah.
were you friends with him? You think, or
No, not even a little bit.
You didn't-
Oh, the mom is such a sweet soul.
You didn't like his views or anything?
No, not even a little bit. I mean, back in the day, in private, I looked back at our back and forth conversations all the way back in like 2017, where he was actually very worried about how racist some Republicans were getting. He even told me that comparison between the Klan and Antifa is ridiculous. I believe he might have even written an article about it at the time, or said he was going to write one. But I think slowly but surely, he also became that person that he was critical of. Yeah,
Right.
he would be considered woke by today's standards, at least back in 2017.
Okay.
But yeah, no, I'm not very fond of.
Yeah, well, in general, 2016, 2015 MAGA would be considered woke by today's MAGA standards, 100%. You know, Trump used to fucking hold up the LGBTQ flag and stuff, and you know, he said like, oh, you know, Caitlyn Jenner can use whatever bathroom as long as I just hope it's a gold one in Trump Tower, you know. And now they all are very open about how much they hate trans people, and well, they're getting more open about how much they hate all non-white people as well.
Charlie Kirk or his opinions. That's why I was going to debate him. In any case, so you like that Israel got $300 billion in the last 80 years from American taxpayers?
Yeah, the answer is yes.
Okay, you do. All right, got it. Okay. You don't think that those funds should have been appropriated to, you know, you're fixing your infrastructure, paying for healthcare, paying for education, things like that?
Not above that. We need stability and somebody with a backbone in the Middle East, or we'll get run over.
So you don't actually believe America first?
Yes, I do.
Okay. No, I think Bob is saying that Israel is like protecting America from scary Muslims, right? That's what you think, right, Bob? Is that what's going on?
No, it's just the Middle East, period.
Okay.
There are other people other than scary Muslims in the Middle East.
Yeah, no, scary Arabs. Okay. and you know, Muslims and Christians. So
They've been fighting for hundreds of years.
that's also not true. But
How long was the Crusades? How far back does that go?
wait, what do you mean they? Do you think the Crusades were you know, Arab infighting?
Christians against Muslims. It was
No,
Christians
it was
against
Christians,
Muslims.
Muslims, and Jews, ironically enough, or at least the Jews that were there at the time. But that was the Europeans. That was the Europeans coming into this area and trying to dominate it, like European
Don't
Christians.
try to tell me that Christians and Muslims haven't been fighting for hundreds of years, because they have.
But it was Europeans. The Crusades were the Europeans, not What? What is he? What?
Anything you got to say about that, other that's contrary to that, is just a lie, and you're pulling it out of the air.
But that's not. I'm confused by this because the Crusades is one thing.
They're paper thin. There's nothing behind them.
No, the Crusades is totally irrelevant to when people say, oh, they've been fighting there for hundreds of years, right? They're usually talking about Jews and Muslims because that's what this conflict has been reduced to, which is wrong. That's the wrong interpretation.
I don't know what other people are talking about. I'm talking about the Crusades where Muslims were fighting Christians.
Yeah, because Christians were coming in to kill Muslims.
Those are hundreds of years ago.
Okay, but how is that relevant?
Yeah, because the Crusaders were coming in to conquer their land and kill them. let's be real.
Israel. Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. And so because of that, you're cool with $300
Why are
billion.
you jumping over to Israel? What I'm telling you is Christians have been fighting Muslims for hundreds of years. That's a fact check. And you can sit here and blow smoke up your listeners' asses, but I'm not going to.
Okay.
No, but you brought it up.
Israel has nothing to do with the Crusades.
Wait, why'd you bring it up then?
Now we're at the point where we need somebody in the Middle East to keep a rein on everybody, and the only country we can count on is Israel.
Okay, I'm a little bit confused by what you're trying to say here because we were talking about Israel. You brought up the fact that they've been fighting for hundreds of years. I asked who you mean by they. You said Christians who invaded the region, and that's a little bit confusing to me because like what's going on in Israel right now is not relevant to the Crusades. I don't think so. I don't know why you brought it up.
Well, what you're doing.
I wonder what their horse thing back. Sorry, I got distracted. I wonder what their horse thing in the back here is. This is their like kitchen counter, right? So is that like a coffee maker, or is it just a decoration? I don't know.
Because you're mixing two different stories.
No, you brought it up.
No, you are mixing up two different stories. The Christians and the Muslims were fighting hundreds of years ago.
But Bob,
now we've got
the Crusades. You did.
Israel trying to maintain authority in a bad region. Okay.
I'm trying to understand why you brought up the Crusades in this situation. I guess is it because like the Muslims, if they're not constantly being dominated, they'll like take over? Is that what it is?
No, they try to dominate Christianity. They're doing it now. You don't get that? If you don't get that, I don't know what you're doing.
You think Muslims are trying to dominate Christianity?
Yes.
Where in America they're doing this?
It's happening everywhere. It's starting in America right now.
It's starting in America right now.
It started happening in America probably, I would say, year 1 or 2 of the Obama administration.
And you think Trump is fighting?
Yeah, so not quite as crazy as these guys, but this is the kind of stuff that I grew up hearing from my dad as well.
Against it now. He's aware of it and fixing that problem.
Trying to stand up for it. Yes.
Okay.
Wait, how do you feel about Trump being buddies with my buddy Zoran, who is Muslim? I'm Muslim too, by the
way. Thought he was gonna say being buddies with Epstein.
But that's besides the point. But I am actually trying to do tequila, Bob. I don't know if you know what that is.
Don't know what it is. Are you trying to take over the country?
Yeah, I'm trying to take over the country. Yeah,
trying to make America great again.
Yeah, I'm trying to take over the country and do woke Sharia.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, you know how we got ICE agents right now? I want to make sure that they're all transgender ICE agents going door to door to make sure that everyone is saying their pronouns.
I think we need to switch topics. Can I be the assistant here to switch?
I think it's crazy. I don't know. I understand why Hassan would say something silly like that, but there are people who legitimately believe that, so I don't know.
What, do you have something you want to say, Mom?
Do you have another topic, but it's none of this.
Okay.
What about those Clintons? They got subpoenaed, but they're not going to go. They both declined.
Yeah.
What do you guys think about that? They need to be held accountable.
You know what I think about that?
Yes.
When I voted for Donald Trump illegally, in the state of Pennsylvania, even though I don't reside there.
How did you do that?
I looked through, I scoured the database in residence homes, like old folks homes, and I wrote in someone else's name that had just passed away. I had a bunch of undocumented immigrants send me. I had a bunch of a network of undocumented immigrants in Pennsylvania, and they gave me the details.
What? He's teasing.
How do you know that vote got counted?
I don't.
You don't.
I don't. But Trump won, luckily. But what I was trying to say is, in 2016, when I voted for him illegally, I was very disappointed because he said lock her up, and he didn't end up locking her up at all.
He didn't. He felt sorry for her.
Yeah, that was messed up. I think he should have locked her up.
I do too. I really do. Do you believe that?
Yeah, I do. And Bill Clinton too.
Well, he did different things. Yeah. Now we're
finding out.
You guys, the Clinton thing is there.
On a unrelated, well, not unrelated, on a note similar to this. Again, this is recorded before like all the more stuff about Epstein files had come out and all that. We now have actually seen like Prince Andrew, who has been in the Epstein files many times, appears in the Epstein files many times, is now being arrested in England. I think like yesterday at the time of recording, he was arrested in England, and it'd be really nice to see some fucking prosecution for these evil people that are all over the Epstein files, including of course our dear president. But yeah, they're never gonna fucking yeah. Anyway.
Subpoenaing them over Epstein files. You guys are so up the ass. Oh, these Clintons, they're trying to dodge the subpoena, blah, 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 blah. But you don't give a shit about the fact that the DOJ is now criminally breaking the deadline of when they were supposed to release all the Epstein files, and they keep coming out every other week. Oh, we found 50 million more.
Yeah, now that Pam Bondi was like, it's done. We're not doing it anymore. And she had that fucking abysmal hearing where she was grilled and just dodged question after question. It was crazy. It was like, yeah.
Epstein files, but they're releasing none of them. You don't care about that at all.
We talk about this every time on our podcast. Yes, they need to be released, all of it. And if Bondi's not going to do it, get her ass out there and get somebody in that will.
Well, but Trump is protecting him. Trump is protecting Bondi.
Here's what I think. I think it's somebody over Trump's head. Who did we talk about before?
Shadow government type.
I was going to say over.
Israel. I think there are players in this way above Trump.
You think it's Netanyahu who doesn't want the Epstein files released?
I think there's players way above his head not wanting it released from other countries.
Okay. I mean, Israel is all over the Epstein files. This is true. Not Benjamin Netanyahu, but former Prime Minister of Israel, Ehud Barak, is a close and personal best friend of Jeffrey Epstein, and he was hanging out with Jeffrey Epstein all the way up until like 2016, 2017. A tranche of emails have been released that detail the long relationship that Jeffrey Epstein has had, not only with the state of Israel, but also with key figures in the United Arab Emirates as well, which is another big player in the region and aligned with Israel. So all of that stuff. So Israel is seemingly dominating America in many very meaningful ways, right? And yet Bob still says we got to give him $300 billion. What's going on there, Bob?
No, there's nothing going on. We're trying to get Israel strong.
Get them strong. Do you look at what they're doing on the world stage right now and think they're weak?
Right.
I think they are right now demonstrating their strength. But prior to that, I think there's a lot of people in the Middle East that didn't think they'd ever pull the trigger.
No, I think everyone in the Middle East knew that they were continuously pulling the trigger. That's why they've been resisting against Israel for 80 years now.
Not in a big way. They can put a hell of a lot more heat on that.
Wait, Israel can? Is that what you're saying?
In what way? You're talking about nuclear war or something?
Yeah, whatever they want to do.
So you would be fine with Israel dropping a nuclear
Jesus fucking Christ, whatever they want to do. Yeah.
bomb?
Iran.
Okay. So you want Israel to bomb Iran. So but as far as like Israel, basically using American politics like a flesh puppet, like you're fine with that. You don't think that is part of the reason why they get $300 billion over the course of the past 80 years?
That's probably the reason they did get it.
I wish Iran would take care of their own business. I don't want to get involved there. I don't think our United States should get involved with Iran. They need to take care of their own business. I'm sad for the people that are getting killed there, the protesters and whatever is going on there. I'm very sad, but we don't need to get involved in that one. They need to take care of their own.
Yeah.
All right.
But Trump is saying that he wants to get involved. He's making open threats of getting heavily involved. So you're against Trump in that way.
I don't agree with everything he does, but he's my president, so I support him. Okay. I don't want him to go into Iran.
Okay. Would you be in support? You said you want Iran to take care of its own business. I agree with you there. It's non-interventionist policy, even though we have been intervening in Iran's business for quite a while, including but not limited to these crippling sanctions that we've put on the Iranian government that has destroyed its economy.
Yeah, now I think they're like launching planes or something. It seems like war is imminent, which is fucking horrific. I think it's Iran. I just saw, I haven't watched the video on this yet, but I think I just saw something where Vosh went over this. Let's see here. Oh boy. Yeah, bombing runs, that was it. I'll just show you what I'm talking about. I haven't watched it yet, but also, I don't know what this is about, but I just saw this, and if you want me to talk about this, I'll be happy to do so. Apparently, some response Camila Cabello made is disgusting. That's not good. Anyway, not what this is about. Back to Bob and his family.
Outside of the state being very repressive and killing protesters and things like that, and following some very rigid rules that people are obviously very dissatisfied with, the sanctions have played a big role. Would you be in favor of reducing the sanctions if Iran said, we're not going to build any more nuclear weapons, we're not even going to attempt to do that? Would you be fine with that?
Yes, I would.
What about you, Bob?
Nope, because I don't trust them.
I was going to say, I'm not sure we could trust
You
them.
can't, anything that comes out of their mouth, you can just wipe your butt with it.
So what if you had Americans that would go into these nuclear facilities, or maybe like international, like a bunch of international agencies that could go into Iran and look at these facilities to make sure that they're not like enriching uranium?
No, international agencies, no. They did that before.
Americans.
Look what happened.
Americans.
Yeah, if they were American scientists that we know we can trust, I'd go for that.
Okay. What would you say if I told you that Barack Obama did exactly what you just agreed to? It was called the JCPOA. In exchange for sanctions relief, there was an agreement that was set forth in Iran.
$7 billion in cash. I got it.
No, that's not what we're talking about. That was Joe Biden. But that was their own money anyway.
Well, you're wrong. You are dead wrong on that. That pallet of cash came from Mr. Obama.
Okay. Oh, I thought you were talking about the $6 billion of frozen funds that Joe Biden unfroze. But so here's the thing. Here's the thing. So Barack Obama did exactly what you said would be a positive improvement for our relationship with Iran.
Yeah, it didn't work. So I'm not going to try it again.
No, it actually was working, as a matter of fact. It was actually
First of all, it was working, and secondly, you just said that's what you won anyway. So what the fuck, dude?
Successful until Donald Trump came in at the behest of Israel and threw that aside.
Your fault. Hit me in the face with a board twice, my fault.
That's George.
So I'm not giving Iran a second chance. I'm not giving Iran a second chance.
I want more to
All right, Bob.
Okay.
Ayatollah, no, that you're not giving Iran a second chance. So, but Donald Trump is giving Iran a second chance. As a matter of fact, this was a double trick question. As a matter of fact, because Donald Trump is now saying that he wants to deal, he wants to give Iran sanctions relief in exchange for a denuclearization agreement that they can get on board with.
Yeah, and he's giving him one more chance, and then he's going to smack him again.
So you agree with that then?
What? That we should send American scientists in?
Yeah. So you agree with Donald Trump setting forth a deal in exchange for sanctions relief, so that Iran can participate in the global economy and get medicine for their children and get food and do normal trade.
I would agree to
that they will engage in denuclearization.
But it won't take them too much before they break the deal.
But they didn't do that last time. And as a matter of fact, Donald Trump was the one who ripped apart the deal because Obama had presented presented it, and now he's literally doing the same deal potentially.
You're tricking us again.
No. This is actually something that he brought up today.
It's like you guys think everybody's trying to trick you. Trump is tricking you at every turn. He's taking your money. He's saying this thing Obama did is bad, and he does the same thing, and you love it.
It's not actually a trick if you're
No, and that coincides with the bite model for a cult as well. It's information control or isolation, behavioral control, information control, thought control. What's the E? Hang on a minute. Let's find this out here. Or not Stephen Hassan. It was maybe it was Stephen Hassan. I thought it was someone else that maybe. Oh no, I was thinking of Umberto Eco. Tenets of fascism. Okay, the bite model. I don't know why I thought of the fucking Addams Family theme. Fuck it, we'll just go with this. Okay. Wait, I can okay. Okay, that should be fine. Okay, Dr. Stephen Hassan's bite model. So we have behavior, information, thought, and emotional. What's the one that's about like? Okay. Okay. That's part of information control, insider outsider doctrine. As far as like, remove them from people, like anybody that disagrees with you, anything like that. Your family, your friends, anyone like that. Don't trust them because they don't actually they don't have the interest of the cult really.
Consistent, right?
Anyone that speaks against the things that the cult says, oh, they're trying to trick you. You can't trust them. No, you're in a cult.
It's actually to arrive at a consistent position.
The difference is Obama dumped $147 billion in cash on their back porch. We're not giving them any money. We're just saying, okay, we might let you sell a little bit of oil, and we'll give you a couple, 3 months to see whether you stick to the deal.
Frozen assets from oil.
We're going to bomb the piss out of you.
No, it's actually frozen assets from Iran selling oil that we froze, that we allowed them to get back.
$100 million in Qatar.
What about Qatar?
Isn't that where he sent the money?
Are you talking about Obama or are you talking about Biden? Who are you talking about?
I think you're talking about the Venezuelan oil that he sold.
Talking about Trump.
Okay, but that's not... Are you talking about Venezuelan oil revenue? Is that what you're referencing?
Yeah, I think that's what he's talking about.
Okay, Bob, your mind is working too fast for me. I'm a dumb commie, so it's just hard. I apologize. So,
well, you're certainly no accountant. I can see that.
I'm gonna switch gears. That's okay. I'm acting like I'm the assistant.
Stick to what you're doing.
I'm the assistant host here. What about that the Medal of Freedom that Obama gave to
Tom Homan?
Yes.
Yeah, I hate Tom Homan, and I also am not exactly too fond of Obama either. I don't like Obama either. I should have mentioned that.
When Trump tries to acknowledge,
do you like anybody?
No.
That's the two.
I love Zoran. I cannot express that. Do you like anybody? Yeah, and in all seriousness, I do like AOC and of course Sanders, but for the most part, yeah, no, there's not. I mean, there's some good people that seem to be coming up. We talked about oh my god, I don't remember his name now. The Texas guy. Fuck, I forget his name. The one who I remember his opponent, Jasmine Crockett. We'll get to that. James Tallarico, that's it. Yeah, I like James Tallarico. I like Abaguzela, I want to say it's pronounced. Rokana. By the way, I said in a video I think yesterday that I wanted Rokan or Ilhan Omar was like the only person I could see who'd be like a viable president right now. I meant Rokana. I don't know why I said Ilhan Omar. I meant Rokana. I don't hate Ilhan Omar by any means. I like her well enough, but I meant Rokana. But okay, while I'm on it, what are the polls? Senate primary race between Crockett and... Are they going to do some bullshit where I have to pay? Pulled after Colbert interview, yada yada yada. Oh, fuck you. Yeah, I knew it was going to be that bullshit. Wait, can I just say no thanks? And okay. Texas too hot. Senate rates. Why Colbert matters in Texas. I want to see the polls. Okay, never mind. That's not what this is about. So, but point is, yeah, there are some people that are like, but for the most part, I'm very much with this on this. No, I don't like any of the people in power, even on the left. The Democrats.
Two different parts I didn't see in that. Obama can give him the Medal of Freedom, and everybody clapped and cheered.
No, I was booing. I was booing back then. I was around. As a matter of fact, I was a political commentator all the way back in like 2016, and even before then. And I was very critical of Barack Obama's dealing with what at the time was presented as the immigrant crisis. And you asked me, Bob, if I like some presidents. I think as far as American presidents go, it's a mixed bag always, right?
FDR. Going way back, but I like also a Roosevelt. Why am I blinking so hard on everybody's fucking name right now? Teddy Roosevelt, who was Republican, but of course that was before the Republican, before the Southern Strategy and all that. Who else? Yeah, that's probably it. Lincoln? Again, we got to go way, and then Washington. I don't know. We got to go way far back with all these guys.
But FDR was pretty solid. I would say that Abraham Lincoln was pretty solid, and that's pretty much it. It's a short list.
Yes.
You don't like anybody who's alive.
Oh, no. I mean, as far as current American presidents that are alive, no, I don't. And I didn't like Carter either, for the record. I was not fond of Carter.
I think Clinton was actually really good for the economy. I'll say that much.
He brought about
terrible person, clearly, but he seemed to be actually good for the economy. He seemed to be like what Republicans thought Trump was or is or what have you, as in like, well, he's a terrible person, but he's good for the economy. That seems to be what Clinton actually was.
Liberalization in this country even before Ronald Reagan did.
Right. Yeah.
Who do you want to see as the next president? What's your pick right now?
Are you asking me?
Yeah, I'm asking you. I'm not asking them. I already know the answer.
Okay. I actually don't know, because right now we have a crowded field. I definitely do not like Gavin Newsom.
Correct.
I mean, people are talking about Jon Stewart. I don't know what his policies would look like. There's people in my chat saying AOC. Obviously, I'm fond of AOC. I know AOC personally. I wish she would be more of a fighter. I wish she would be more aggressive in her commentary and in the way that she talks about these issues. She's definitely one of the better candidates in general. But I don't have any clear this person should be leading America right now. Like I don't have a pick for that at this point.
Is Jon Stewart actually going to run? I've seen that rumor online, but really?
Jon Stewart?
You don't think it's going to be JD?
Well, I mean, Jesus Christ, Trump, really? Like at this point,
I think you guys want Trump again, right?
I think JD Vance would be even more tough than Trump.
Nobody's voting for JD Vance.
Nobody's
Vance is not going to win. I think Tucker Carlson is probably a better spiritual successor to Trumpism than JD Vance. You guys like Tucker Carlson?
Really? Yeah, we like. Well, I don't know. He's doing different things now. I don't know.
Like what?
He's a little too.
Not like he used to be. He's going more your way
for you.
You think he's going my way? I think it's just because he's
going your way.
anti-Israel. That's probably the reason why it's being presented as like a bad thing. But you're anti-Israel.
But he's not. He's anti-Israel because of how far right he is. He's not anti-Israel. He's anti-Jewish.
Congratulations to JD Vance. They're going to have a
He's
fourth lady
actually
running around the White House.
anti-Semitic, I think.
But Mom and Dad, you guys want to see Trump as the president again, right?
No, we do not. I have told you that. He's too old.
Don't you have a hat
You've
that
said
like
this a
has
million times on our show.
Oh, you guys are doing so much today because we're on
I
this
can't
nice
believe this.
podcast.
You're literally lying, and I don't know
I'm
why.
back and chat up. This is bullshit. You're gaslight.
We've every time he comes out and he's like, I know the Constitution says I can't run, but I'm going to run anyway. Every time he says that, you guys are like, I'd love to see it. You back up that we don't even need midterms, Dad.
Yes.
Oh my goodness. I'll go back on one of our old podcasts that we did. I said, no, I do not want him to run again or be our next president. He's had enough. He's done. Okay, I'll find it on the pod.
Yeah, find it. Send me that clip.
I'll queue it up.
You're going to make this with AI, I'm sure.
Okay, so
Don't put your big cowboy hat back on.
yeah, no, this one's good for now. It's too heavy on my head. I can't wear the crown like that. It's disrespectful to my goat, my legend, Donald Trump. So, so Bob, you have been noticeably quiet. Do you think Donald Trump should be the next president again? Oh, okay, all right, good. So you think JD Vance will be able to carry on the flame?
Oh, I think he's going to be tougher on the left than Donald Trump ever dreamed of being.
Wow.
And I'm not
Carry the flame.
positive he will be the Republican nominee.
There is no MAGA without Donald Trump. There is no MAGA. Once he's gone, it's over.
You're not going to buy a JD Vance Bible and JD Vance cologne.
No, he doesn't have the same cult of personality at all.
Our buddy over here is going to be wearing either JD Vance or Rubio cowboy hat.
Rubio.
You think Marco Rubio's going to be president?
God, he's so sweaty.
Not Rubio either. No one. No one on the right has the same level of that cult personality that Trump does. It's just not going to happen.
Like him.
He's not. Trump has this cult of personality thing. You guys are victims to it. That's how he was able to do this. Maybe with a little help from Elon Musk, tweaking the numbers by hacking. Who knows? But JD Vance doesn't have that. Marco Rubio, no one in the Republican Party has that thing Trump has.
Tucker Carlson does, I think. That's why
Really?
Tucker is
God, I don't know.
That's why Tucker Carlson's a spiritual successor, but he's too anti-Israel. I think that's a big problem for a lot of people in the base of support. But other than that, he is more charismatic, has a better intelligent presence than JD Vance does. JD Vance is too much of a brown noser.
I don't know. I think Tucker Carlson is like, he's a little bit of a dweeb. There's something about him that doesn't.
JD Vance.
Totally.
So
That's what I'm saying. I don't think either one of them do the same thing to like the MAGA base that Trump does.
No, they love her.
She's a damn bargain.
AOC, I fucking love AOC. I'm voting for her every time.
I like her a lot too. I don't think I think we really do have a sexism problem when it comes to voting, and there are a lot of people who do not want to vote for a woman. I think that, and I think she needs to be a little bit older. I think she needs to cut her teeth a bit more, but she's awesome, like in general. So, yeah.
Oh, you would.
Why don't you like AOC?
You got a brain the size of a peanut.
Is Kamala coming back?
Yeah, I don't understand. For some reason, like a lot of people on the right like to say AOC is stupid, and I don't understand where they get that from.
Jesus Christ.
She's an econ degree from Brown, I think.
No,
right? Brown.
he has a degree from Boston
Or
University.
Boston University, sorry, not Brown. Wait, also a
There
very
you
good
go.
college.
Damn, he knows.
Thank you. Wow, you know AOC better than I do.
Yeah, what do you think of Boston University, Dad?
Yeah, let me hear that real quick.
Not much.
What?
Oh, it's
Why do
woke.
you guys bring up personal stuff like that on the podcast?
I don't think much
that we
of
have guests on.
Lay it right on your lap, Chad. I don't think it's a very good school, period.
For reference, one of my children just got into BU, so.
Oh.
We're happy for her. I wish her the best
But
of luck.
it's
I hope
woke.
she's happy.
It's woke now. I mean, it was woke back then too, right? Is that what it is? They're indoctrinating
Hey,
kids.
no, you're talking about. I don't think you get a very good education.
I think, well, it's just very
I think it's too expensive for what you come out the back door with. Your lovely AOC went to the same school, and she became a bartender as soon as she graduated.
Yeah, don't you think that's a problem with the current system that we're operating under though? Like the fact that you go to college, get a college education, and then you can't actually get gainful employment.
Yeah, that's a horrific issue we have too. Like you should not. The jobs that I didn't go to college, but the jobs that I work, people did go to college and get this like incredible degree, and then now they're here working with me, doing like phone customer service or sales or like business consulting or whatever. Like, I guess business consultant is pretty good, but like it's crazy. It's like you should not be doing this. Like if you have an incredible degree, you should be fucking like doing something with your degree, not my kind of job.
Yes. You have my full support.
Yes.
Okay.
I
Also,
think colleges are overrated, and you don't need to go to one.
I think our education system is just terrible.
I think it's a prestige thing, which absolutely pays you shit when you get out the back door.
I don't disagree with you, which is why I want free college, as is the case in many other countries. As a matter of fact, in a lot of these other countries, they sometimes even pay you to go to college.
I was going to say, yeah, there are also countries that pay people to go to college, which would also be really nice.
Did you know that?
I wish they would pay her.
Yeah, I wish free colleges and would be here, and I wish our whole education system could be
I agree
revamped.
with you. Our education system sucks.
They're woke. Your parents are woke.
But this is not real. I remember when we were.
Parents are woke.
They're not. They're doing.
This is part of the issue though too. What the son is experiencing here, where like as Hassan talks to them, it's like, well, shit, your parents actually woke. Like your parents are actually like on the right side of some issues here, and the son is like, well, hold on, this isn't how it actually is. That kind of thing does exist to an extent. With like again, my buddy that I moved over on some things. Every now and then he still like kind of backslides into some of that stuff, and I'm like, but it's funny because he'll jokingly say like, I moved you. I'm like, no. I literally moved you over. You haven't moved me over on anything. You think because I think that like the government is corrupt and stuff that I'm actually like drain the swamp kind of thing. No, like that's crazy.
Weird. They want Medicare for all and they want free college. They are Bernie voters.
They are, though. I remember
what I moved him over on specifically, by the way, was sex workers, where basically like I basically just explained that, the arguments that you're using against like, oh, well, how does it benefit society or how does, this, that, whatever, you could make that argument about literally any kind of entertainment or anything that doesn't, that is providing any kind of like entertainment or just like a pleasure kind of thing, right? Like, and he eventually like kind of got that of like, oh, well, yeah, like, I guess it's not really any different than like any, like, one of the ways we talked about it and compared it to was, Let's Players, how he likes this Oxhorn guy on YouTube who does like Fallout stuff, and he is one of those people, by the way, who consumes media like Fallout and thinks it's anti-woke. So we're not dealing with the best, but he's he's my friend and I respect him and I try to move him over on things and talk to him about stuff, but it's not it's not always easy.
When the whole student loan forgiveness thing was going down, we did multiple episodes about that, and you guys were against it. Dad, you were like, you gotta pay, you got that degree, you gotta pay.
Wait, that's the old them. The new parents said they're on board.
You did this. You turned them woke just today. It happened right here on this very show.
Ask Chad and Haley how much they paid for their school.
Yeah, we don't need to do personal stuff on a damn podcast.
Yes, we have discussed this at length on our show too. You guys helped us with our student loans. What's that?
Here's what you paid for your college.
Okay, stop. Stop.
We also have scholarships. We are very grateful for your financial aid, helping us pay off our student loans and all that.
What did you do with that degree, Chad? All you do is podcast now.
I know.
Yeah, but like, so I talk about this. I've talked about this before. How like, people who don't like, it's great that they were able to support their kids through college and they didn't have to pay anything. That's awesome. But there are plenty of people that don't have that same level of privilege. And like I've talked about before myself, how I have been between jobs before, and I'm between jobs right now. But like I said, I'm about to start another one pretty soon here, where basically, like, they, if it were not for the assistance of my family, I would not be able to even like keep my apartment and stuff because I don't have any income coming in. But there are many people who, like, once they're out of a job, they're just fucked. They're not in even the level of privilege that I'm in. And my folks are not like super wealthy or anything. I say my folks. My dad's not really helping me out. My mom at least is like, yeah, it's rough. Yeah, there are people who have it so much worse than me, and it's they shouldn't.
Believe me, Bob, I'm with you. My dad doesn't like anything that I do professionally. And for the first, I don't know, 15 years, I was selling TV shows and I'd still get a call from him once a week. When are you going to hang this up and come do natural gas with me? And I'm like, this is my career, Dad. I'm going to stay here in LA.
Propane accessories?
I never once invited you to trade natural gas. First of all, I don't think you'd be worth it at.
Yes, you did. We're very proud of both of you. I'm not even listening to his bullshit today. We love you both. We're very proud of both of you. Haley has her own business. Chad's doing his thing with podcasting. He's a genius. He knows how to do it. He's trying to train me to be a
Why am
podcaster.
I not a genius?
Aw, the mom has such a good heart.
You're a genius in the bakery business, how to bake things and how to market things. But I'm scared because you crossed the line there with your resist and all that. That scares me.
Wait, what do you mean? It's a very American thing to resist against, tyrannical governments, even if it's our own government that's behaving like a tyrant. No,
Yeah, literally what the Second Amendment's about.
that's the whole basis for the Second Amendment.
Until you get death threats and things like that, which we all have gotten. And that's the
Until the line is death threats?
part where I get scared. Okay.
I
get
get death threats
Oh, you saw me getting. Oh, yeah.
time as well.
I get good
Unfortunately,
ones, like, yeah.
Well, if you put your cowboy hat back on, you might get a couple more.
You get a couple good ones. Good ones.
you think people? I don't think that right wingers send more or left wingers send more death threats than right wingers. I mean, obviously, in your situation, it's a little different because like you're mostly receiving them from what I presume is left wingers, but
100%.
But the reality of the matter is, it's actually right wingers by and large that are responsible for a metric ton of the political violence on U.S. soil. I mean, it was a guy who was. I mean, Donald Trump has been shot at, or his attempted assassin Ryan Ruth, even though he was a NATO guy, he voted for Trump back in the day.
When Chad started the podcast, I got the call in the kitchen. He goes, "Mom, you think you want to do this? Could you and Dad do this with me once a week?" I was like, maybe. His exact words.
I
Some
think
people
Bob's
will
jealous
like,
of the hat.
there you are. Yay.
I think Bob is jealous he doesn't have this rare Trump merch. That's why he keeps bringing it back.
You might have to mail that to us.
I don't want that.
Okay, so Chad said, some people will like you and Dad a lot. Some people will hate you. Will you be able to deal with that? That they're not going to like you at all? I said, yeah, they're going to love me. Yeah. I don't even show him some of the emails I get. They're bad. But then I get some good ones and I appreciate those.
I mean, I get the most vile you can imagine, and it's just plastered.
I believe it. Yeah. I imagine she gets a lot of, let's be real here, rape threats and stuff too. Because that's the go-to thing for a woman. And and by the way, that is a great example of how rape is not about attraction, because they're not people that are like, oh, you're hot, like I want to have sex with you. It's they hate her, so they talk about raping. Like it's disgusting.
Across all social media platforms for everyone to see.
He loves it.
I get all kinds of.
It scares me. I know.
Wait, Bob, you like when Haley's getting death threats? No, you don't like that.
No.
But you have said I deserve it. You say I
No.
deserve it because I like to run my mouth.
Dad, you said on our show when last January, when California, LA specifically, was under threat of all those wildfires, you told me that I deserved to die in them because I was here, making the choice to live in Los Angeles.
You know he doesn't mean that, but we don't like you living in Los Angeles. That is the truth.
Okay, sure.
But you guys haven't even been out to visit him, and I don't know how long. I have recently.
15 years.
He lives in a really nice neighborhood. It's not
I
like
know
he's
he does.
living in the middle of riots.
We've been to his neighborhood. It's very nice.
Look at him making a hat.
I know. I like the hat.
I
my
like
God.
it too. I like it too.
Keep putting it in your mouth. Is that gum or mints?
What are you
No,
eating?
it's Zen because I'm a real American. And
Dad, you'd like Zen. You need to start doing Zen. Dad.
nicotine pouches. It's nicotine pouches.
Why aren't you spitting it out somewhere?
Because it's
So
not.
you smoke?
It's not snus. It's not like it's not lip.
Tobacco?
It's not the same. Yeah, it's not tobacco. It's just nicotine pouches, so you don't have to spit it.
You're not worried about cancer.
No, I'm not. I'm trying to live fast and die young and have a handsome corpse.
There you go.
That's why I'm in this business where right wingers tell me they want to kill me all the time. But in any case, getting back to it, so you're in favor of free college. You're in favor of free college, free trade schools as well, right? I assume that comes with the territory.
Wait a minute. I didn't say free college.
Yeah, we did.
What I said is you don't need to go to college to get a degree that pays you.
Yeah, but you guys
I never
also.
once said free college.
Oh, so you don't want free
What I,
college,
did, what I did say about free college is those two people on your podcast here, they got free college.
but
I think you can get a great job without a college.
I paid for my kids to go to college for free, but I don't think other people should be able to give their kids free. Like it, I can't.
a great job.
So here's the question though. So you don't want free college, Bob? Like why is it that you don't want free college? Why do you want Americans to not be competitive in the international marketplace? Like why do you want our labor force to be less educated?
I think if you pay enough for college, it can be worth it. But paying $300,000 or $400,000 for a bartender's degree is stupid.
No.
You're just attacking AOC.
I don't
She didn't. Okay.
understand what you're trying to say though, Bob, because like what if you didn't have to pay for it? As a matter of fact, you don't have to pay for it in many other countries.
You are misunderstanding what I'm saying. Most parents, and especially if there's two of them and they're working, can afford to spend $150,000 on a college education for one of their children.
Mm-hmm.
But those same two people can't afford $300,000 or $400,000 for one child to go to college at a school that will absolutely bankrupt them when they get out.
Okay, but how about a third option, right? Which is an option that exists in many other countries where
free?
They don't have to. Yeah, free. What's the problem with that?
I don't think you do it for free.
Wait, why not?
Somebody has to save up and get that money to go to school and get an education from a university.
Taxes.
It means
no, but what? Can you tell me why? Because it's not technically free. It's still paid for with taxes and
I think
subsidies.
the reason why you guys feel this way is because that's what you had to do, and you don't want to see anybody have it easier than you had it.
Yeah, it's why you didn't want. It's why you didn't want loan forgiveness. You're like, well, if I had to work for this, you got to also. It's like you don't believe in the betterment of America. You just want the betterment for yourself, and it's a selfish outlook. Like, why wouldn't you want other generations to come up and be able to go to school without being in debt? Why wouldn't you want that? That makes a better America.
It allows freeloaders to be freeloaders.
If you're going to college, you
Freeload for
want
education?
to learn.
Yeah.
If it's free, you're a freeloader.
Education is education.
But you still have to get into the college. You still have to go through the application process and be approved, all of this stuff. So it's like if you want to go to Harvard or something, it's still going to be a very stringent application process. It's going to be hard to get into that school. It's not. What's that?
The student loan forgiveness.
Also, the only reason being a freeloader is like a bad thing is because, okay, so like, if I had someone staying with me, and they were like eating all my food, not paying rent, just all this stuff, right? They weren't doing anything to like re-subsidize, but I was still having to work and pay for like our food and like all that stuff, right? The reason that would be a bad thing is because they are taking advantage of me where I still have to work and they don't. What we're talking about is not like, well, some people don't have to pay for college and then other people do. That would be fucked up. We're talking about where nobody has to pay for college. Even like my thing when I talk about like UBIs and stuff, we're not talking about where like you're not a freeloader if you're all benefiting from it, if you're all freeloading, you know what I mean? Like if you want to say you're a freeloader, no, you're not a freeloader, you're just all benefiting from the same system equally.
This thing was, it took us years to pay back both of your colleges. We worked hard for that amount of money to pay back your colleges, for us to do that.
So other people should have to suffer too?
Right.
And then all of a sudden it's like, you don't have to pay them back anymore?
Okay,
so why did we work all
Let me ask you a question.
I don't understand.
Okay.
Let me ask you a question. So, sorry to cut you off. But Bob, let me ask you a real quick question. So, first of all, you pay for high school as well through your taxes, and I don't think you have a disagreement there. But let's say, God forbid, there was a health scare that you had, and you had to go through, rigorous cancer treatment, right? Chemotherapy and all this stuff, and you suffered quite a bit throughout that process. And then there was a cancer vaccine or a cancer treatment that was invented. Would you say, oh, don't give everybody else this cancer vaccine because I had to go through chemotherapy, so everyone else should go through chemotherapy as well? You wouldn't say that, right?
No, totally different story.
No.
Why is that a totally different story?
Because you're not asking me to pay for something that's already out there.
You're talking about your health, and then you're talking about education.
Yeah, education is very important for the health of the nation because we're talking about making America great, right? Because that's what I want. That's on my hat. That's what I want to do. I want to make America great again, right? So the health of the nation requires there to be a well-educated population, right? We agree.
But we let 20 million illegal immigrants that have no education just flood the
Oh
market.
my God.
Okay. Well, we're not talking about immigrants right now, but we can get to that in a second.
We switch back and forth to whatever you're doing.
Wait, no, I'm just staying on topic because we're talking about free college. We're talking about why it is a must to have educated citizens. Because I'll tell you something, right? So Donald Trump, for example, and this pertains to the immigration stuff as well. Donald Trump wanted to open up factories, right? Donald Trump wanted to open up factories, and Joe Biden played a role in this as well. There was a Korean factory that was opening up, right? In the process of building this factory, they had to bring in immigrant workers to build these precise machines that Americans are going to be working on, right? But unfortunately, Americans could not fill that need in the Hyundai facility because they had not gotten the proper education prior. This is a consequence of not funding our educational initiatives and therefore having to make up for it by bringing in migrant workers to fill that need so that Americans can work in that factory in those facilities later down the line.
You're talking about blue collar jobs.
Yeah, the blue collar jobs that Americans will take on eventually.
That's got nothing to do with the college we were talking about before.
No, we're talking about precise manufacturing and like equipment that needs a lot of highly specific technical skills.
We can open some schools and do that stuff if we weren't spending $400,000 or $500,000 to send our kids to Harvard to get a piece of paper and have no job when you get out. And I'll tell you how smart you got to be to go to Harvard. Are you a big fan of George W. Bush?
Okay.
He barely crawled out of Harvard with a degree.
I don't care about Ivy League schools at all. I don't think that says anything. And a lot of rich kids like George W. Bush get into places that they normally wouldn't have been able to get into, but their parents actually pay for like the wing of a library or whatever, and then they end up going to Harvard. I mean,
Can I ask
Trump is a great example. I mean, he went to Wharton Business School, but only because his parents were very wealthy.
Right.
Where did you go?
Who paid for your school? Okay.
I got a lot of scholarships, and my parents took out student loans at my behest, and I was very fortunate that I was able to make a lot of money. And not only did I pay for my own student loans, I paid for the student loan debt relief for my entire family as well, including my parents.
That's good.
You get applause for that.
I like that.
Yeah, but despite the fact that I paid for my entire family's student loan debt, I still am very much in favor of making sure that no one.
But again, it's that same thing where like just because in his case he had the ability to like do that stuff himself. He also believes everyone should be able to do that and shouldn't have to like go through the kind of shit he did.
Also has to go through that process at all, because it shouldn't be up to someone getting incredibly lucky like myself and winning big in this lottery system to be able to get a good education, because I think every American should be well educated. If they want to go to college, they should be able to go to college and not have to worry about the cost. If they want to go to trade school, they should be able to go to trade school and not have to worry about the cost. But unfortunately, neither party in this two-party system that we have.
Yeah, the fact you have to pay to get an education at all is fucking insane. You know, it's like, oh, you know, it's like, okay, you know, I'm, you know, kind of working dead end. I mean, there's upward mobility in the companies, but like, you know, I'm not interested in like really pursuing further with the companies I work for. You know, and you know, I think to myself, oh well, you know, maybe I should like, you know, get some kind of schooling for doing something else. I think I'd want to get into like therapy or like mental health coaching, but like I'd have to pay to get that schooling. You like, and then you run into this issue where it's like, where do you have the ability to better yourself? You have to have the money to better yourself in the first place. If you're in a situation, and especially like, you know, working parents or single mothers or whatever, like if they want to go back to school and do, like, you have to have the financial freedom to be able to put money into your education and work toward bettering yourself. Like, it's crazy. Like it's so hard to ever get ahead in this country. It's so fucked.
Actually wants to do that. And Trump, unfortunately, I hate to burst your bubble here, Bob, but he doesn't want to do that either.
Oh, I know he doesn't.
I agree with you.
Okay.
Wow.
We agree with you on this part.
What?
Okay.
Thank you. This is unreal.
Wow.
You're turning them, dude.
Having some
This is
breakthroughs.
insane. I can't believe this.
They're going to be Maoist third worlders by the end of this conversation.
Oh my God.
So that's the thing.
I
Like,
like you much better with the hat on.
Yeah, it's the hat that's doing it.
yeah, that's probably what it is.
It's scrambling their brain, and the shit you're saying is actually getting in.
Yeah, no. Because like I don't care about party affiliations. I don't care.
That's cool.
Subsidy to private insurance. I don't want private insurance to exist in the country. Or if it exists, I want it to be heavily regulated. And I want that private insurance to only cover things that are, you know, like plastic surgeries or whatever, and not life.
Willie. Oh.
It's disgusting. It's extra disgusting when you're parroting this imperialist gross. I'm getting government. Wake the f up, dude. Jesus Christ. I'm getting text messages from my friends saying, don't fight with Camilla Cabello, because I tweeted gross when I saw this. Camilla Cabello raises awareness for the living conditions in Cuba. It has been 67 years of a failing dictatorship and an oppressive regime. The Cuban people are suffering in an echo chamber where no one can hear them, because to speak is to risk your life. Many people are starving, looking for food in trash heaps, and then the only way to survive is having relatives ship you boxes of medicine, because not even the hospitals have medicine. Yeah, that's the reason why the Cuban population is starving. What a spectacularly awful, what an insane statement, dude. What a insane thing to say. I can't stand people that say stuff like this, but it's like very clearly defending America's unimaginable and unyielding cruelty. She was in Fifth Harmony and got exposed for being racist towards her co-member, a black woman, Normani. She was also found to have said the N-word and had to go on an apology tour, so this adds up for her. I mean, I don't know anything about her. But this is like, when I read something like that, when I read a press briefing from Marco Rubio coming out of Camila Cabello's the Instagram account, I'm like, the shit, #SOS Cuba. Anyway, I got banned for saying that Cuban Americans will not care at all as they see Cuba be rotted by the USA. They're all brain rotted to the max. I just don't get it. I don't understand. I truly do not understand how you can have immediate relatives still living on the island and the country that you now reside in is like directly starving them. And you're like, yeah, it's because of the communism dictatorship. Like, what the dude? What the It is so... It is nastiness. It's a nasty business, dude. I don't understand how you get that level of brainwashing. Like, you can tell me all day, every day, like, oh, well, it's the communists. It's the communist stupid. You don't understand. You will never get me to agree to borrow the Camilla stands are going to come for you. I don't give a shit. They can call me racist all day, every day. I'm going to Cuba. So also, speaking of Cuba, I will be talking to Belly of the Beast today, a reporter from Belly of the Beast today that is directly tuning in from Havana to talk about the conditions there. The Cuban lobby made them right-wing, please. Not enough people talk about it. Yeah, the Cuban lobby is nutty. We will be talking about that as well. Unfortunately, that chatter is correct. My brain-broken Cuban conservative grandparents now live in North Carolina have told me nothing but lies about Castro and the revolution growing up. It's similar to the brainwashing that happens in the Jewish American community related to Israel. Cuban Americans have been brainwashed by Cuba for decades. Yes. I will say this, though. If we can put, can you explain why you hate or take? What parts you take offense to? What do you mean, all the parts? There is one primary driver of pain and torment for the Cubans that live in Cuba, and that is the United States of America. Anyone that takes the responsibility away from the completely unjust, completely inhumane blockade that has been implemented for decades, for 67 years, and says that like the real reason why it's a failure is because of communism, is because of the regime, it's because of the dictatorship, is a delusional monster. And the only way, it's victim blaming through and through, but the only way that you can have that thought is if you live in the bosom of luxury in the United States of America, and you've actually never experienced any of the downsides of being in the crosshairs of the United States of America. And therefore, you have no capacity to understand what it's like when America decides that you're a foreign adversary, okay? We're starving Cuba and then acting as though, and then there's people that are saying like, while we are starving Cuba, our government is directly starving Cuba, there are still people who will say, oh, it's the regime, it's the communism, it's the dictatorship. Get out of here, dude. Get out of here. Any country that is in the periphery that thrives against all odds. Okay, there's so much going on here at home and so much I can say about the heartbreaking things in the immigrant community is experiencing here in the U.S. I also feel a personal responsibility to speak about what's happening in Cuba. I still have family on the island that we speak to and send medicine, food, and clothes to. It's been 67 years of a failing dictatorship and an oppressive regime. The Cuban people are suffering in an echo chamber where no one can hear them because to speak is the risk of your life. Many people are starving, looking for food in trash heaps, and the only way to survive is having relatives ship you boxes of medicine because not even the hospitals have medicine. I wonder why the hospitals don't have medicine in Cuba. It must be because of the communism. Like, do you understand what I'm saying? Do you understand what I'm saying? Do you know how stupid that statement is? We are literally starving them. The entire planet that is terrified of coming out against the United States of America has said time and time again over the past 67 years, please end the blockade. This is completely unjustifiable. Please release the Cuban population, free them, allow them to exist normally, allow them to engage in commerce, allow them to actually grow their country. And America has said no, time and time again. People have voted for the blockade to end. And America has decided that no, we will not do that. We will not allow that to happen. Yeah, exactly. It's unacceptable. The power is gone for so long that food spoils and water becomes scarce. When people have peacefully protested, they've been disappeared or put behind bars, some as young as 13 years old. This is the reality where a post online costs you your life. The Cuban people have lived without dignity and hope for so long. It's no wonder so many Cubans have thrown themselves in the shark-infested waters, making boats out of tires and sticks and risking their lives for freedom. They are now in the midst of a profound humanitarian crisis. I wonder why. I guess they just hit the communism button too hard recently. Is that what happened? They were like, we're going to do even more communism because communism means starvation. Like, you are medically stupid if this is your take. It's disgusting. It's extra disgusting when you're parroting this imperialist propaganda at a time of crisis when your family members are directly being starved by the American government. Wake the up, dude. Jesus Christ. And this has not even anything to do, for the record, this doesn't have anything to do with like ideological commitments to communism or anything. This is just like, this is not dissimilar to what's going on in Gaza in many respects. There's an ideological slant associated with it from why the American government justifies this kind of brutality and gets away with it in some respects. But ultimately, it's a matter of right and wrong. Is it appropriate to genocide and starve and siege the Gazan population, the Palestinians? No, it's not, right? Same question can be directed at the United States of America. Is it appropriate and right for the American government to offer offer siege warfare to the Cuban population for almost 7 decades at this point? No, it's not. It's ridiculous. You guys are hating on her for helping. It's insane. Helping what? Where does she take that away from the blockade? Are you stupid? I mean, yes, you are. I'm sorry. You're a stupid stan if you literally look to that statement and assume that it's not directly claiming that the government is responsible for the American blockade. It's victim blaming. What the are you talking about? It's 100% victim blaming. Get the out of here. She's like, as a Cuban, I'm telling you, this is like, as a Cuban, I'm telling you, it's not the American blockade. It's the Cuban government. At a time when the American government has like added on additional cruelty, additional cruel measures. Her music isn't even good enough for you to be out here defending her, chatter. I mean, I don't really care, but I don't really care about her music. Ain't this the pop star that was super racist on Tumblr? I don't care about any of that shit. This is, to me, individual acts of racism pales in comparison to looking at a situation where the American government has openly declared complete warfare, siege warfare upon the entire Cuban population and saying, yeah, actually, it's the government. Like aligning with the government that's doing that to your relatives is infinitely worse. This is where awareness matters the most. She's from Mexico. Okay, regardless, she has Cuban family members. I work in affordable housing. I grew up loving Castro because of how I saw how we were treated. I am a Politico, even did the USA tour. Please talk about Israel also being a part of the groups enabling the blockade. Yes, exactly. It's more insane when you consider the fact that mainstream media isn't even trying to manufacture consent for this one. They're just like barely talking about it. Meanwhile, a humanitarian crisis is unfolding in Cuba because of Trump's blockade. U.S. strangulation of Cuba is so severe, U.S. media isn't even bothering to act like U.S. sanctions are incidental to the suffering of the people like they did for years with Iran, Venezuela, previous Cuba reporting. It's a post-liberal order where humanitarian pretenses don't matter much. The president is openly and proudly starving multiple countries' populations at once, and the only pushback is a handful of progressives in Congress releasing statements, and that's basically it. Open sadism basically cracks the top 10 news items. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty crazy. It is pretty wild to see the New York Times write, not with like a neutral tone, but with like direct language saying, a new U.S. blockade is strangling Cuba. That's pretty nuts. There has been a very strict embargo on the entire island for almost 70 years at this point. Now that embargo has taken on a new life where it is even more severe than before, where all of the additional trade partners that were offering oil to the island can no longer do so. Mexico had to stop sending oil. Venezuela is no longer a sovereign nation, right? Venezuela is no longer sending oil. The only country that has actually said we'll pick up the slack here is Russia. And who knows if that's going to be real. I mean, they're very far away. And the American government has already seized Russian oil tankers in the past. But now that the SCOTUS has now that the SCOTUS has cast aside Donald Trump's tariffs threats, maybe Mexico can pick up the slack again. Who knows?
Okay. Okay, now.
Charismatic, has a better telegenic presence than JD Vance does. JD Vance is
I was selling TV shows and I
Pay enough for college.
wait, no, I'm just staying on topic because we're talking about free.
Are you a big fan of George W. Bush? Harvard with a degree.
I don't care about Ivy League schools at all. Get into playing of a library or what example. I mean, you're very wealthy.
Right.
Where did
Now,
you go?
who paid for your school?
Suitably for entire family's student loan debt. It shouldn't be winning big. Every American, or actually that either. I don't care about party affiliations. I don't care about who a person is. They can even be a bad person, but they can technically be a good president. Like Jimmy Carter, good person, horrible president in general. It's how most American presidents work, unfortunately. So I care more about impact. I care about policy, and I care about improving the lives of every single American, regardless of what they believe, even if they don't want it. And that's the reason why I advocate for Medicare for all and free college and things like that, and even a government-sponsored job program as well, like a federal jobs guarantee.
Dad had a question earlier that he wanted to say. I know. Is he going back to the bathroom?
Yes, restroom break. Be right back.
He had some kind of question he was trying to get through earlier. I don't know what it was. I don't know if can he still hear us? Can he issue the question from the bathroom?
No, he can't hear us.
All right.
No, it's all good. You're woke already. Don't let Bob tell anybody otherwise.
This is something we talk about on the show with some frequency.
Pronouns.
No, but like your kind of innate persona, Mom, I do think is much more left leaning, and I think you're just in an environment where Newsmax is playing 24 hours a day, and the kind of political news cycle has gotten to the point it's gotten over the past 10 years or so, and I think it has brainwashed you.
I'm just more calm.
Yeah, this is the kind of thing that I was talking about, where like my mom was very much the same way, being in that environment where you're constantly being inundated with that misinformation, and in this woman's case, being married to, in my mom's case, dating a person who, you know, perpetuates that misinformation and everything so much, it it can kind of like fuck you up a bit. So yeah, no, but you can see like because of like the empathy and everything that she has, she seems to be a decent. I remember when I like deconstructed religion, and I became more, you know, I started like getting, you know, into politics and becoming left leaning and stuff. I had a friend who said to me, like, basically, because I attributed a lot of opening my mind in that way to her and conversations that we had together and stuff. Not entirely, but partly. And she said something along the lines of, basically, she always, like, I was always going to get there. It was only a matter of like how long or what have you, but I was always going to get there because of my empathy. And I feel it's similar with this woman. If she keeps looking into things, and I think it's true for a lot of people, if you keep exposing people to new things, new ideas and stuff, eventually, you know, if they have that level of empathy and things of that nature, they'll come out of it a better person ultimately.
I'm more kind than
because
Dad.
I will say unequivocally, I do think that she is a better person than Bob. I think there's no doubt about that.
I'm willing to lean a little bit to help other people. I love people. Yeah. Well, I like a lot of people right now. I'd rather be around my animals than people, but I don't want people to suffer. I don't want to see people killed. I don't like that.
But that's what I'm saying. The guy sitting in that chair next to you very usually does want to see suffering and people killed. He thrives on it. He has glee from that. And I think that affects you when you have to live with this guy since, what were you saying, 50 years you guys been married, you know?
I know him very well. He says a lot of shit doesn't mean. He says a lot of shit he doesn't mean.
No, he means this.
Come back.
I mean, look, this is part of it too. Like it totally makes sense to want to defend someone that you care about in this way and to say like, oh, they don't really mean it, or you know, what have you. But I don't know, man. It sounds like he means it, and her kids see that the dad seems to just be a bitter and like awful person. In all honesty, it's really fucking sad.
We'll finish the show. We're almost done. He's done pretty good, I think.
Yeah, no, Bob is woke. Bob is. I'm gonna when our Muslim woke Sharia happens, Bob is gonna be one of the Fedayeen. He's gonna be fighting hard in the protectorate of Oklahoma. He's gonna be going door to door, making sure everybody's saying their pronouns correctly.
You guys have said on our show multiple times that you are ready to quote fight in the Civil War.
Yeah, on our side.
Yeah. How many bathroom breaks are you gonna have to take when you're out in the streets fighting in the Civil War, Dad?
One. I'm gonna keep shooting until they get me.
Okay.
You know, that is one thing. We are old. Okay, we have at the most, I'm saying 8 good years.
When I lock and load, it's going to the death.
I think the way you guys think, because you're young, we're old. So when you get to the end, like we are, we start thinking a little different. We really do. Like every day is a gift to wake up and be alive. So if somebody is out there doing something in the street to a young kid or an animal that I don't like, I'm going to go out there. I'm going to say something. I don't know if I pull a gun or anything.
ICE agents, would you intervene? If you saw ICE like nabbing a kid, would you intervene?
If I saw them hurting a child or an animal in any way, whoever's out there, I'm going to intervene.
Trujillo killed her puppy. The Department of Homeland Security Secretary, she shot her puppy in the head and then dumped the puppy's body in a landfill. You guys like her?
No, I did read that.
Yeah, that was not good.
We don't agree with that.
Dad, you said you didn't. We talked about this.
There you go. Something the admin did that at least one of them don't agree with.
On our show, and you said you didn't care because you grew up on a farm and so like that all the time.
You're right. I did. Now there you go again, putting words in my mouth.
Y'all putting on.
I think your parents are woke.
Bullshit show.
I think they're putting on a little show here today.
I think he just wants to own the libs, and you're too lived up. I think that's what it is.
Yeah, it is.
I need a med bed. I need a med bed.
Yes.
You guys don't listen. You just roll your eyes and do whatever you want.
Yeah, med beds for all. I think I would love a med bed as well. I think everybody needs a med bed. But, since that's technologically not available right now, the next best thing probably would be to make sure that the current healthcare system that we have is treating everyone, right?
Yeah, instead of med beds for all, how about Medicare for all?
I think it is. I think it is all right.
Yeah, without medical debt that you have to pay for. Because there are a lot of people that will refuse to take medication because it's too costly. I know people that have a hard time paying for medication, like diabetes medication and things like that, where they just choose not to take it because they can't pay for it. And I think that kind of stuff should. Yeah, that's not right. That should be okay. Great. Okay, so we're on board. You want Medicare for all as well? Like it kind of feels like it.
I mean, everybody in our family has gone through some pretty traumatic medical. Literally every one of us. If we didn't have good health insurance, we'd be done.
I would say good health insurance. Listen, you have to be wealthy even if you have health insurance.
I was going to say, it sounds like they come from a pretty wealthy family and everything, all of them. And it sounds like the son and daughter here are very aware of the privilege that's given them, and they are willing to say like, hey, this should be for everybody. Whereas the other two, I mean, the mom is definitely more reasonable, more reachable, all that. Whereas the dad is, I don't know, man. I like I said, I don't believe in like people being lost or whatever, but he's pretty close.
Pretty in this country. Gone. I'm talking about like you got to pay deductibles that go all the way up to $7,000, $8,000, $9,000, $10,000 before it kicks in. Like that's insane. You are in this country if you do not have money, even if you're insured.
I disagree. My friend that I've told you about, her daughter had an ATV wreck. Boom, bad wreck. Like the whole arm was ripped off. Bad. She had no insurance. That child was fixed. She was fixed. They did all kinds of surgeries. It was over $500,000, and then it was written off.
Medicare.
No, it wasn't Medicare. She had to pay part back, but the child was taken care of. So which children are not being taken care of?
Yeah, but it's like that's life-changing money that they have to pay, right? And that's actually inefficient anyway, because if there was Medicare for all, if we had a socialized healthcare system, that bill wouldn't be $500,000 to begin with, and there would be no bill at all, as a matter of fact, and they wouldn't have to worry about that. They wouldn't have to worry about the medical debt that might come along with this life-saving healthcare procedure that they had to get.
Yeah, I totally believe it needs to be stamped. It's not good. It's not good.
If that system that you believe actually existed, why would anyone have health insurance at all? Wouldn't we all just be going to the hospital whenever we want and write it off?
That would be the ideal world, wouldn't it?
That's what I'm saying. Whatever your anecdote is, I don't think.
There you go. That's what we're talking about. It's written off, if that's how you want to look at it.
Actually is getting to the reality of what the situation is.
Okay, no, I think they're on board. I'm telling you. I mean, even Bob is kind of coming to our side here on this healthcare conversation. Yeah. He says no now, but maybe tomorrow he's gonna be like, you know what, I thought about it and I think that's a good thing, right? Overall health of the nation. Because listen, there's all these other countries out there where they're educating their children and they're becoming way more competitive in the international marketplace, and Americans are falling behind. Americans are falling behind on every single metric, and that's part of the reason why a lot of people are angry, right? They're angry because they look around, they're like, I'm spending so much money on my taxes, none of it is going back. None of it is actually going back to the roads. None of it is going back to the infrastructure. There's potholes everywhere. The hospitals are in a state of disrepair. What the hell is going on? And this is an anger that a lot of people have, and it's an anger that I share with you as well, if that's what you're mad about. I want those funds to go back not to an endlessly expanding military where some woke guys over in San Francisco or in San Diego that got an engineering degree are building weapons and new weapons to figure out new ways of murdering children overseas, but instead to go back to more productive things, to go back to ourselves, go back to education, to go back to healthcare, to go back to infrastructure expenditure, and hopefully to go back to a federal jobs program that builds a lot of houses so that there are no more homeless people around, right?
I do agree with everything you said, but with defense, it scares me. What if a missile comes from Russia right at us? We've got to be good enough to shoot it in the air, down.
But we already have defense systems. I'm saying like we're increasing the funding, and it's actually once again very inefficient because a lot of that money that goes back into the Pentagon, who knows where it's going, right? We don't know where it's going. They tell you it's going to defense, but as a matter of fact, it's going to these massive corporations that aren't even actually paying their engineers really, but it's going to CEOs, it's going to faceless, lifeless, parasitic capital owners that don't care about America. They're multinational. They don't actually have any sort of allegiance to America, and they clearly don't care about their fellow citizens either. They're basically just looting the taxpayer money and putting it directly into their pockets. MLK said this, but this is a nation where we have rugged individualism for the poor, for the everyman, for the working class individual, but we have a system of socialism for the very wealthy. Don't you think it'd be better if we flipped it on its own, where the very wealthy should engage in rugged individualism, and the working poor, the everyday person, should be getting more of their tax fund, getting more in return for the taxes that they pay?
It should be equal. Why would the wealthy pay for the poor all the time?
Because they have way more money.
Well, no, that's not even what I'm saying. I'm not even saying the wealthy should be paid for the poor. I'm saying that the poor prop up the wealthy. In our current system, right now.
Yeah. What is the pyramid of capitalism? That's what it's called. Pyramid of capitalist system. Yeah, this is one of the best examples I've ever seen of the of how capitalism works, right? We work for all, we feed all. You have all the workers, all the people that do all the grueling work, all the all the different things, and then you have the people who are just above them. We eat for you, right? We feed, we work all, we feed all, we eat for you. and you have like the upper class. Not, I wouldn't even say this is probably like the, I don't know, maybe the 100,000, or not 100, like a couple 100,000, maybe millionaires. Not entirely sure which. I'd say like the tech bros, like the podcast bros and stuff like that you see, right? We shoot at you. You have the military, of course, right? We fool you. You have religion, right? And then you have we rule you. You have the kings and the monarchs. Just really in general, because if you want to say like, oh well, we don't have kings, okay. But also like, you have the ruling class, right? And then you have capitalism at the top. Like this is a very powerful painting that God, I wish this was fucking shown in schools. It never will be, but man, do I wish it was. Yeah. It's one of the, they say a picture's worth 1,000 words. This is a good example of it, I think.
Now, wealthy people that have a much better starting point, right? Usually, more often than not, end up becoming unimaginably wealthy. They end up becoming unimaginably wealthy in the current system that we have, right? And they would not be that wealthy without labor, without people working jobs, whether they're accountants like yourself, Bob, or plumbers or janitors or sanitation workers. They would not be able to generate this revenue, right? They would not be able to have any output whatsoever because
I like how Bob in the middle said, "Well, yeah, that's capitalism." It's like, yes, that's what we're arguing against.
Sure, maybe you had a lot of money and you were able to purchase a factory, right? But that factory remains dull if there is no labor inside of that factory. Right. Labor is what creates value. You agree with me on that?
Yeah.
Because without workers, these factories would not, there would be nothing.
I know where you're going.
I don't.
And people love to say about this where they're like, oh, well, but without the people supplying a job, you wouldn't have a job. People are going to be looking for work regardless of whether there are people like someone is going to be supplying some kind of work. The workers, these big businesses, they need the workers way more than the workers need the big businesses. 100%.
I agree with that.
Well, you don't agree with that. You think factories would have the same output without workers working?
If you don't have billionaires to invest capital, it doesn't make a goddamn bit of difference how many workers you have.
You think Amazon would be Amazon without people working in the factories, in the distribution centers?
There wouldn't be Amazon without capital government.
I mean, Amazon is already getting tremendous tax breaks from the government.
You have an Amazon.
Yeah, so here's the thing. A lot of these big businesses, they actually do get a lot of tax revenue. They get a lot of tax revenue. They get a lot of subsidies. They do get a lot of help from your taxes. But you find that to be appropriate, and that's all right. I mean, but
a lot of socialist. Yeah, exactly. A lot of socialist tendencies.
My argument always is we should be paying more consideration and more attention to the people that are working inside of those facilities so they too can go and buy a home and take care of their children and have a healthier society overall. And the reality of the matter is, and you, Bob, you worked in some setting, right? You were an accountant. Like, if your boss didn't exist, you would still go to work and you would still do the same exact work no matter what. It's not because your boss that existed, your company was able to make money, right?
No, I went from being an accountant to a natural gas trader.
Okay.
I worked my way into a better situation so I can make more money.
He's worked for several very, very rich men.
Billionaires that you would condemn, and they provided hundreds of thousands of dollars and millions of dollars for jobs. In fact,
the bootlicking is crazy.
In the state of Oklahoma, one of the guys I work for is the reason Oklahoma's better off than they were 5 or 10 years ago.
Boone Pickens Stadium.
So here's the thing. Okay. You worked for them. They hired you because they saw value in what you do. Without you, without people like you working for them, but Bob, without you, no, they gave you money in the form of a wage. They gave you a wage, right? You were a waged salaried employee, right?
No.
Oh, you got?
I was on
commission. Oh, okay. You worked on. Okay, so you were doing sales. Got it.
In addition to a salary.
Okay, that's.
Same. That's how I made money. What the current job I'm about to start and the a couple jobs I've worked before, salary with some commission because I've done some type of like sales and customer service adjacent type of work.
Great. No, sales is actually a fantastic. Sales is something that I did
sales.
right.
It's not called sales.
Yeah, Son's done it too.
It's called trading.
Okay, so you were.
I had positions on whether gas would go up or down, and I could not be wrong. I had to be right.
Okay, regardless, you were earning them more money than they were giving you. That's the point, right?
Yes,
So you were okay.
Whenever a company, I'm sure many of you have experienced. I experience this so fucking often, and I hate it. When you go into a company, when you work for a company, and they come and they tell you, "You guys have generated this money, this much profits for us. You know, we've seen this increase, and you guys did that, and you should be proud." Perfect. When are we getting our raise? Right? Because if profits go up, wages should go up as well. If wages are not going up, while profits do go up, that is what you have when you have wage theft. Which is the biggest form of theft in this country.
There you go. So you were providing them value. They didn't actually work in that setting. They just hired you. They had the upfront capital. They had the money to hire someone like yourself to make them even more money.
Now you need to backtrack. They put up the capital. Without them, there would have been no job at all.
No, I don't have to backtrack at all, because the reality of the matter is, if a job is a necessity, if a job is an absolute necessity, then we don't need to rely on someone to put the upfront capital, because we're already pooling those funds right now. We pull those funds in the form of taxes. We could have public banks that could actually fund and invest into these initiatives as well by need. And it's actually kind of how it works in many other countries as well. Or it kind of works in the same way here as well in the United States of America. The distribution of those resources, however, stay at the top.
Banks had to give up trading because they suck at it.
Wait, what? No, banks I think banks do a lot of that. I mean, I think it should be separate.
Banks like Merrill Lynch, Morgan Stanley all had to quit trading because they lost so damn much money.
Who do you think Bob, who do you think worked harder? You or the guy who hired you? Who do you think worked harder to generate value? You or the guy who just simply had more money than you and was wise enough to hire someone as smart as yourself?
The second guy I worked for probably worked more hours than I did.
You must have had a bad boss at some point, though, right?
And he put his money up. He was willing to take a risk.
Okay. But
dude, the bootlicking is fucking crazy. Obviously, your boss works less than you. Holy shit! Come on, man. The higher you get up in a company, the less actual work you do.
And so argumentative.
But at the end of the day,
you know what he's talking about.
But at the end of the day, if it wasn't for you and the work that you put in, he wouldn't have made as much money, right? As opposed to not hiring you, right? You made him money.
Correct.
Because he would mimic my trade sometimes and make a lot more than I did.
Okay.
Yeah, because he had more money than you.
He had the same money.
He's got his hat back on.
Nice.
Put the hat back on, Bob.
Yeah.
I'll put the hat back on.
It's easier to agree.
I'm defending your rights as a worker in your own experience, and you're still trying to defend your boss to me for some weird reason. I don't understand.
Yeah, this is the crazy thing too, right? Like, you have people like Hassan, myself, and many of progressives in general, right? Where we are ultimately arguing for the rights of the bootlickers as well. Like, we want society and the economy and everything to be better for everybody, including you, that we are politically disagreeing with. And yet these guys often argue for things that are going to hurt us as well as them and everybody else. But it doesn't matter as long as liberals and minorities are punished, right? It's crazy.
I'm not a worker. I never felt like I was an employee for starters.
Okay, quick.
I remember there was an episode we did where
salary involved.
I remember I asked you once.
No salary involved. I got a 1099 at the end of the year, not a W-2.
Okay, that's fine. I'm a 1099 worker as well. That still means that you're getting a wage from. You're still getting a wage to a certain degree from I work for myself. I technically get a 1099 from Amazon though, because of the platform that I'm on. It's owned by Jeff Bezos.
So you don't have a W-2 either?
No, I no longer have a W-2. I was a W-2 worker when I was doing sales back in the day. But I'm an independent contractor technically, just like you were for the company that you're working for. But it doesn't matter. What I'm trying to say is, you are still, when you are making money for someone else, you are still working. Like, as a contractor, you are still doing what? Contracted work.
So?
Yes.
There was
not a bad thing. This is just what it is. I wasn't being argumentative.
There was an episode that we did a long time ago where I asked you if you thought you had more in common with the average kind of working person or billionaires, and you said billionaires. You thought you had more in common with a billionaire than the average person. But that's simply not true. Huh?
With the mind.
Why? Why would you think that doesn't make sense? Why? Okay, let's hear him out.
That I have more in common with the people I work for than workers.
That's what I'm saying. And I don't know if this is like common to all MAGA, but that attitude that like you and Elon Musk could be buddies and hang out in the same room, but you can't with the guy who's like 2 levels below you at your corporation. It's just wrong. And I don't know if that's like purposefully done in right-wing media or
temporarily embarrassed millionaire. Like, that's what it is.
Depends on who you are. The billionaires I work for, I did hang out with.
No one should be a billionaire. Literally no one.
I agree.
Okay, so she's right, but unfortunately, the way she just kind of jumps in and gives these little jabs and stuff, and I understand it's a very, like, she's very heated, very, like, I totally get it, but I do feel like optically, I don't know, fuck it, they're doing a good thing with their podcast. I just feel like there are some things where she a little bit too much fits the negative stereotype that people like her parents hold, and you really got to work to change that.
It's an indication that the system is failing when there's that level of wealth disparity, when there's that much level.
But she's right. When she like, she hasn't said a single incorrect thing yet. It's not that she's incorrect. It's just that optically, unfortunately, I don't think it's benefiting her and it's not just the pink hair and tattoos. It's just like the kind of her demeanor and everything. When I said earlier, by the way, that like she's not conventionally. I mean, she is, like, again, without her like hair and like the hair being the way it is and the tattoos. Like, she clearly has, like, good genetics and is like a pretty woman and stuff. Just like, well, I can't really say too much about the son. But like, I don't mean to like disparage any of these guys, like, based on their looks or whatever. I'm just saying, I'm sure you know what I mean when I say like she fits the stereotype, right? In a lot of the liberal stereotype in a lot of ways.
Of wealth accumulation at the top. It is just as a failure of the system as is every single homeless person that has to sleep outside. Almost 700,000 of them have to sleep outside in the wealthiest nation on the planet. It means that this system is just not working, right? We have to fix it. That's what I want to do.
I agree 100%. But
I would argue, unfortunately, and I'm sure Hassan will ultimately agree with this, that the system it's not broken. It's working as intended. It's working to benefit the rich and powerful and keep them rich and powerful, make them more rich and powerful, and keep the rest of us down.
Mom and Dad, you're for the billionaires. You like that they exist. You like them.
They have
Doesn't
to
make any
exist.
sense.
I don't want the homeless people on the street, but why can't our government help them? Why can't our government help with them?
Because they don't give a
Mental
shit.
drug help, whatever kind of help they want.
Who's they?
Our government.
Our government,
Yeah.
it's busted. They don't care. They don't care if we have health care. They don't certainly care if you're homeless.
Yeah,
they
they don't
don't
care
care.
about billionaires. They only care
Oh,
about billionaires and
no,
making sure the billionaires are turning profit year over year.
Trump is a billionaire. The president is a billionaire.
Yeah.
And they contract from other billionaires. Like, you can't see the trend. I just don't understand. And you're okay with it. Like, there should be 0 billionaires.
They just plugged
Yeah.
Grok into the DoD computers. Like,
Department of War.
Oh, sorry. Sorry, the Department
Oh,
of War.
yeah,
I got you,
right,
Bob.
right.
Yeah, I'm living back in Obama and Biden days when they called the Department of Defense. I'm just saying, like, that's another billionaire who we already saw basically was trying to run the country while Trump was sitting at the desk. Then he got kicked
Right.
out because Tesla stock was tanking. He's like, I got to go back and make sure the stock prices go up. Now he's on the verge of becoming the world's first trillionaire, and he's getting a government contract to put his AI in the Department of, my apologies, War in all their computers.
Don't dead name the
to
Department
get
of
all
War.
of our military data running through Grok. It's not enough that he has Starlink satellites and he's controlling all that and siphoning data whenever he wants. Now he's going to have his AI in our Department of War. You don't see
So
any
when you
problems with this.
say, like, why is the government not doing anything about it? Because they want to get that bag, okay? They want
Yeah.
money. That's all it's about. It's all it's ever been about. Donald Trump is just a money-hungry sack of
Sorry you feel that way.
Are you guys about to go to sleep? I think this is, they might have their engines out of gas here.
A little bit.
I think this was a
No,
very
I'm not-
productive conversation.
I actually do too. I'm surprised you guys, you did have some woke moments.
I was afraid you were going to go for a jugular right from the start.
What? No, I have no, I don't, I'm not in the business of catching quick dunks on people. I want to have a conversation with them and I want to understand where they're coming from and work within the value system that they represent or the value system that they have to try to find a reasonable solution. Because at the end of the day, no matter how much, Bob talks about.
And the way that Hassan just described that there, where he wants to, meet people where they're at and work within the value system that they themselves have, that is exactly how you work to not debate, but just discuss and understand where people are coming from and work to potentially move them over on some issues.
Deporting all the immigrants or whatever he's saying, or like he wants America to be a great country, right? That's what it says on the hat, make America great again. And I think a lot of people are misguided into believing that Donald Trump represents that great change when I think he's actually the same old business as usual politician and maybe dissimilar from previous administrations in the worst ways. He's accelerating America's demise, in my opinion, rather than actually helping people.
Yeah, I don't agree quite with that he is making our country go down.
I don't agree
I
with
think
that
he's
at
the first president that you guys are afraid of, that he's getting things done. And he's
I'm
doing
sorry,
it kind of fast.
what is he getting done?
What
Our
is-
border
yeah.
is finally closed.
Putting you farther behind the finish line.
Our border is finally closed.
Okay,
Okay.
and we're murdering American citizens in the streets. We're kidnapping children,
Yeah.
and that's what it takes to get the border closed. And you're cool with it?
We're getting the criminal illegals out of here that are
We're not.
killing our own people.
So wait, hold on. The immigration one is like the one issue that is like very hard to try and find a reasonable conclusion to. So I think we have to work back to why this is a bad thing that like migrants work, because like migrants are in the country, right? We briefly touched on it when we were talking about like your German great grandparents that came here, and how that's not dissimilar to, I don't know, someone coming in from Guatemala, right?
Right.
What I want is to make sure that everyone that wants to come and work and earn in the United States of America and make the United States of America the greatest country on the planet that I know it can be, is to have an expedited process where they can just come in and say, this is my background, this is what I want to do. Can I please come into the country?
Quick
Yes,
question.
I believe that too.
Where are we going to put all these damn people and what are we going to do with them?
Well, we
When the
already
rest
have
of the
these damn
countries-
people,
when the
and
rest of the countries are empty and all those people come here.
So the reality of the matter is, if we actually didn't go and destabilize other countries, most people would not want to leave. I mean, Bob, you haven't left Oklahoma. It seems like you lived in Texas and Oklahoma, and you have no interest in going elsewhere. And most people are like that. The only reason why they want to come here is because there's at least some level of prosperity, or at least not the country they want to come to is not as destabilized as the country that they're coming from. Most people don't want to leave the countries that they actually grew up in. They don't want to learn a new language. They don't want to leave their families behind. They don't want to leave their friends behind, their culture behind, their food behind. And they have to do it as a matter of survival in most circumstances. And the reason why
it's going to be better if we're a better place to live. I don't agree with you at all.
I think other countries would be far better off if we didn't consistently meddle in their affairs. And I think that's part of what Donald Trump was talking about when he said he doesn't want to intervene in other countries' affairs, right?
Oh, right.
Yeah, and then he went and fucking attacked Venezuela and all the other crazy shit.
He is intervening in other countries' affairs. You can see that, right?
He's literally
Yeah.
trying to make another country a state.
You guys saw in the Oval Office, he put up the little poster that had all of North America, or at least it was America, Canada, and Greenland had the American flag over it. Like, how is that? Can you imagine being in Canada and seeing this idiot throw that thing up? Everybody in Canada hates him and hates America now.
Here's what I don't like. Like an illegal that comes into our
Yeah,
United
because
States.
like think about it. If you were here and you saw like China or some other country come in and do that with us, you'd be fucking livid. Rightfully so. But it's okay because we're America. Like, what the fuck?
They don't have their citizenship yet. They're trying to get citizenship,
Can't
but
speak
yet,
English.
but yet they hate America. But
they
yet
don't.
some of them burn the flag. Some of them say,
they don't
"I
hate America. They wouldn't come here if they hated America, for the
Yeah.
record. Because I can tell you from my own personal experience, not only as someone who's around many immigrants, first generation immigrants, but someone who came to the United States of America at the age of 18. A lot of people say I hate America because of all of my criticisms of the way that the American system currently works. But if I hated America, I would not have come to the United States of America. The reason why I came here is because
Yeah, he was disillusioned. He was a Westaboo from Turkey, and when he got here, he thought it was going to be like it is in the movies and everything, and it he was hit with the harsh reality of how America really is, and it was fucking sad.
I believed in the American dream, and then I quickly realized that was just marketing. That was just something you saw on television. That was something you saw in the movies. But unfortunately, it wasn't the reality. It wasn't the reality for many Americans, as well as many other people that are coming into the country. But the reality is, these people are not coming here to ruin the country at all. These people are coming here for survival. That's it. They just want a job. They want to work a job, and they want security for their children, just like everybody else. There's no difference between someone coming in from Guatemala and someone coming in from Germany.
What was the clip I saw where there were a lot of protesters, people around a man that had on American flag hoodie, and they were saying, take it off or not, take it off, and they beat the crap out of him.
Yeah, because they're angry at what America represents. And that's also, again, an American value. I come from Turkey, okay? And in Turkey, it is illegal to do anything to the flag. Like you will get your ass beat. You might even go to prison, really, if you for incitement, right? And I don't want that to be the case in the United States of America. I want that, and I don't know who you're what video you're talking about in particular, so I can't speak on that directly. But my point is, it's a constitutionally protected right to be able to burn the American flag or any flag you want to burn in this United States of America. And I think that's a good thing. I think that's a freedom. That's a freedom that should be cherished. It's a freedom that should be protected.
That's no longer the case. You burn a flag now, you go to jail.
Yeah, I don't like that. I don't think that's a good thing. I think it's un-American.
I like it. I think it's great.
If you don't like our flag, then go to the country of the flag that you like.
Oh my fucking god! It's like they're like children. They have no way to think past such. It's so funny because they'll especially do this with gender. Like, well, a 5-year-old can understand. Okay, I don't care if a 5-year-old can understand your way of thinking. That doesn't mean it's good. If anything, that's something you should probably examine, because if a 5-year-old could come up with your line of thinking, what does that tell you about your line of thinking? But I know they think that if you think anything, more outside the box, if you will, that you've been brainwashed by the liberal agenda and all that shit, right? The woke mind virus, as Musk called it.
Why do you always go to that? Like, you always shift. Like, if you don't like it, just get out.
Okay.
The United States of America is the greatest country on earth, and there's nobody to replace it. And it doesn't matter where you go or where you come from. That statement is going to remain the same.
Okay.
How many countries you've been to?
Give Trump a couple more years, and I think we'll be singing a different tune.
I want about any country
Yeah.
in the world.
Okay.
I read up a whole lot of shit on Turkey. Believe me.
I'm not exactly very fond of the Turkish government either.
I wouldn't be either, but I didn't bring it up.
Be nice. Be nice. You've been pretty good. Be nice. Be kind.
Okay. Well, anyway, you guys.
Well, that's his point. Like, I don't want America to become like Turkey, and I see it's becoming like that's what he's saying.
Getting a little sleepy.
I know more about Turkey than you do, Haley.
Be nice. Oh my God. Okay.
Okay, now I want to hear what
Always
you have to say about Turkey. Bob, give me some quick facts about Turkey. Maybe we'll agree.
Well, the fact is, you don't have very many billionaires, and the ones that you have do run the country with an iron fist.
So not
and you don't have a lot of freedom over there at all.
Yeah, like you can't do things to the flag, for example. The things that you're advocating for here in the United States of America, you're criticizing in Turkey.
No, and he's right, because like they did all the stuff that they argued against with like Sharia law and stuff, are the same things that like they want to do, just with like in a Christian nationalist way. It's so fucking crazy.
I'm telling you is Turkey fits what you want in life more than America does. So you should be growing your oats in Turkey.
No,
that's actually the opposite. That's why. Well, I'm an American citizen.
I know why you came here. My question is why.
You just said.
I know why you came here, but why did you?
I know why. Why?
Bob, why do you think I came to America?
Yeah,
he knows.
No, come on, Bob. You can say it. It's fine. I've heard much worse things. Don't worry. I will never be offended. You can say whatever you want to me. I will not be offended.
I'm fine. I know what Turkey is.
Why did he come here?
Mary Lou had 2 women from Turkey, Istanbul, who used to ride with her at the barn, and they used to criticize your government like there was no tomorrow.
I mean, I do too. I can't. Bob, you might not know this, but I actually used to write for the Huffington Post, and I wrote very critical things about the Turkish government, which is why I can't go back to Turkey.
He doesn't like Okay, I don't get this.
I actually do criticize Turkish government quite a bit, but having said that, one thing that I was wondering is you said why I came to America. So you want to tell me why do you think?
Because you have a better opportunity to make a lot of money.
Okay.
Period.
That's okay. So I didn't come to America to destroy it.
You didn't have that same opportunity in Turkey. Why you came doesn't mean what you're here for now.
No, I actually had more opportunity to make a lot of money and had more job prospects in Turkey, because like my family was even if they weren't as well off as they used to be when I was growing up.
Oh, so what he meant was like, I know why you came. My question is, why did you stay? Basically, okay, that's a fair question.
They still had a fairly robust network. I came to America because I love America. I came to America because I learned about American culture, watched a lot of American movies, and wanted to live here, wanted to work here. And very quickly I realized that maybe America, or the American dream that was promised, I was fortunate enough to be able to achieve it, right? But I realized that many others are not. Many others are nowhere near close to achieving that or realizing that dream at all.
But you stayed here.
Yeah, because because this is my home. And when your home is dirty, you want to clean it. You don't just move out, right?
I don't know about that.
Right? Isn't that the appropriate thing to do, Bob? I mean, I'm not a coward. I'm a stubborn man. I'm a prideful man, and I'm not just gonna leave. I could. Bob, I'm a very wealthy man. I could live wherever the fuck I wanted on the planet. The reason why I live here here. The reason why I pay my tax dollars to the state of California and to the American federal government is because I want a better return for everybody else. I want a better return for everyone else because I think that
why don't you give it away? Why are you wealthy? Why don't you build some homeless housing?
Give it away.
Give it away.
I mean, I do give out. I do give away quite a bit of money, but that doesn't solve the problem, right? Because there's plenty of wealthy people in this country, far wealthier than I am, and no matter how philanthropic they may present themselves in being, that still doesn't fix the problem. The government has to fix these problems, and I want to change the.
I hate these kind of arguments. It's the same thing. I saw this stupid thing the other day where they were like, well, if you want like immigrants or whatever to like be in our country, if you think we should house them and stuff, or you think homeless people should be housed, why don't you house them? Bro, that you know damn well that's not the same thing. Like, you know damn well it's not the same to say like we should have a pathway to citizenship in general and that there should be housing for homeless people in general. That is not at all the same thing as letting them stay in my own house. Like, you know that's not the same thing.
Government so that we have the most efficient outcomes, so we have the best possible outcomes.
That's right. We have to do it through policies, through laws, through change.
Because right now there's a lot of magnanimous billionaires, right? And they're giving a lot of money away. They're giving hundreds of millions of dollars away, and yet these problems still remain. So clearly, this has not been an adequate solution.
I think they're tapping out. Are you guys done? Is that dad staring into space? Mom's giving not even one word answers, just little grunts.
So,
We only usually do our show for an hour, and even by the end of that, it's kind of.
Oh yeah, we've been going on for quite a while now, but this has been very healthy, very productive.
Like wild and crazy guests that you kept on forever? Could we just keep doing this for days or what?
I mean, this is what I do. I do this for 7 hours a day, every day, 7 days a week. Well, thank you.
Thank you, Mom and Dad, for doing this. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Thanks for having us on. I was a little afraid, I'll be honest.
I'm more out.
I heard you're a really tough debater and left, and I was a little bit afraid, but this was fun.
No, not at all. All right. Well, thank you. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining us.
Thanks for having us, man.
And where can people find you if you want to promote?
It's just called The Necessary Conversation on all the things, YouTube and Instagram and TikTok and all of it.
I'm going to send you one of these, Bob, so you can wear it on the next one.
Oh, my God.
Oh, my gosh.
I'll take
Look at my mom's eyes light up.
Yeah. I got some rare Trump merch. Don't worry. I got you.
Thank you, Chen Haley.
Thank you.
I love you.
Love you too, Mom. Love you, Dad. Love you, Dad.
All right. Bye, guys.
Bye.
That was a pretty good conversation, I think. Your parents are woke, Chad. I think you realized something.
You did
parents
that.
today. No, I didn't.
Yes, you did. I'm telling you.
No,
Some of those things that they were saying, like, oh, no, we think the same way you do. I'm like, 100% they are lying to your face. Or you really did change them.
No, I think that the next conversation you have, they might have a different attitude. But I think the principle that I always have is that most people want what's best, but they've been led astray. 100%. Most people want what's best for this country, but they've been led to believe that, especially with the duopoly that we currently have in the American government, that like one side is bad, the other side is good. And
totally.
Like, it's very difficult for right-wingers in general to sit there and be like, no, actually, I do think that poor people deserve less, because that's silly. It goes against the first principles that most people learn, sharing is caring, things like that.
Yeah, and it goes like to be that far right, it goes against like your basic humanity and your like desire to care for your fellow human beings. Your fellow man.
Honestly, like, for my dad, you saw a little bit of it creep out there, that he essentially is like all Somalis bad. And I think for them specifically, or maybe my dad specifically, but I think it also is a big portion of the MAGA base, they are very adversarial and they need an enemy, they need a boogeyman, and Trump is always pointing his finger at something to be that, and it lands with them every time.
No, that's because that's jingling keys in front of people's eyes. That's the role that white supremacy or all these other like reactionary 100%. Ideology plays. So what you're supposed to do is quickly engage in jujitsu and jiggle different keys in front of them in a more productive manner.
I'll try that.
This is something that Zoran did quite well, as a matter of fact. That's why he was, super pro trans rights and everything else, and yet that wasn't a major point of contention in the debate stage. That wasn't a major deal for the way that people perceived him, because he was talking about broad, universal values that everyone can get on board with, and that's what I hope Democrats can do more frequently in an effort to actually move the needle in a more productive manner and move this country into a better place.
I agree 100%. I remember we did the episode when Zoran won the election, and obviously he went to the White House, and there's that picture of him, and Trump is like looking up at him smiling, and my parents like couldn't deal with that, and they kind of concocted this whole thing in their mind that somehow Trump was doing like a deep long con on Zoran, and at this moment where he had him come to the White House and they were buddies now, was somehow he's going to trick him and later throw him in prison.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, no, that's probably not going to happen. They're text buddies.
Yeah, it's supposedly. Well, no, man, thank you so much for having me. This is absolutely.
Yeah, I can understand that concern as well. That they're it's like a long con. No, I don't think that's. It's just because Trump respects like powerful people that actually stand for something.
Thank you. Thanks for coming on. Nice to meet you. Necessary Conversation Pod, everybody.
Thanks, everyone.
Yeah. So, whoops.
Everybody wants to talk about Pearl.
Nope. That's a
we wouldn't have
different thing.
ICE if we had a secure border.
If we had
Come
Joe
on.
Biden.
Stop. I have a whole playlist of videos that I want to go over here on the channel.
Borders, we wouldn't need
and as you can see, it's quite lengthy. But I hate that it autoplays. So anyway, oh, you can't see. It's quite lengthy. Hang on. There you go. You can see it's quite lengthy. But anyway, yeah. No, I think that was a very good video by Hassan, a very good example of meeting people where they're at and working within their own framework to move them over. on an issue, to help them realize that, like, hey, you're being unreasonable about, like, whatever this is, or, like, well, really, we can agree on this, so let's see if we agree on this kind of thing. And I think for most people, that is a good strategy and a valid way to not even just, like, debate people to, like, get them to your political movement, but just to, like, maybe heal, like, a relationship, or prevent a relationship that is, like, going off the deep end or something like that, One thing I will say, a lot of people complained that, like, well, maybe I shouldn't say a lot. There were some people, at least, that were complaining that, like, oh, Hassan platformed these guys or something. Like, are you fucking kidding me? That's the dumbest shit I ever heard. Hassan tanking here. Let's look at some of the comments here. Hassan, here. Hassan tanking thermonuclear levels of family trauma with several hacks. This feels like I'm interrupting on a family counseling session somehow ran by Hassan. The dad has lead poisoning. I mean, he might. I don't know. He's definitely, like, of that generation, right? Dude was 100% on board with the federal government murdering his child. There's no comeback. No, yeah, I don't know, man. It's crazy. So you made a mistake in letting your kids think for themselves is wild. Yeah? Don't dead end the Department of War. Jesus fucking Christ, the two kids are stronger than a fucking steel. Honestly, yeah, they really are. Update, the dad is now wearing Hassan's hat in the newest video. No shot. Okay, so that's one of the things, right? I wanted to go over this and see the, that was the newest video. When was that? The mom code switching between empathy, telling Bob to behave, and going full MAGA needs to be studied. Student debt required. The giant hat is like a Cocomelon for old MAGA. No shot. This is 10 days ago? Okay, hold up. So that was, like, here. Yo, that's amazing. Is he wearing it in this one too? Will this change on the Epstein files? God, that's another hour. I don't want to. Does MAGA think Trump is racist yet? Yeah, I mean, I am very interested to hear what, because I saw this one thing that said, oh, the MAGA files broke them or whatever. It didn't. Like, they're still doing their podcast and everything. They're still a family. They're still actual progress. Okay, MAGA mom, and it's just the mom. Can Parker make Rob and Mary Lou listen to reason? I don't know. Like, I don't know. Yeah. Oh, that's cute. A relaxing hang with just them. Yeah, they do this, like, every Sunday, apparently. When will it end? Yeah. Yeah, the Trump files. How will MAGA defend Trump in the... Yo, he's wearing the hat here, too. That's amazing. God, it's another hour, though. We're not going over another hour. If any of you want me to... If you guys want me to go through, like, any of their specific videos or whatever, let me know. But I think... Also, if you want me to, like... So I don't normally, like, go through long, like debate, conversation, things like this, just because... I don't know. I just don't. But it was fun. I guess it feels a little like stealing content. But, I mean, I am adding a lot to the conversation, so, if you guys want me to go over anything else like that, let me know. I'd be happy to do so. It was a good time, so, yeah. But no, again, I do think, like, yeah, the dad does seem like he might be lost. It is really sad. The mom, there's definitely hope for, and I think most people are more like the mom, where you can reach someone's empathy and really, like, speak to them and like you meet them where they're at, and you help them. You just kind of walk them through and help them, like, get to a more reasonable stance. I think that is good. And I'm not even saying these guys need to be like, or the people that you, like, discuss or whatever, and you're in friends, family, whatever, coworkers, whatever it might be, need to be, like, leftists or whatever, but just to get them to, like, be more reasonable and understanding about different things. I think this is a very good example of going about that through this lengthy conversation. Anyway, yeah, as always, these are my thoughts. Let me know what yours are in the comments down below. Follow me on social media for more. Links are in the description. I do have a podcast with a buddy of mine, the Let Me Tell You Something podcast. We don't get too deep into, like, political stuff. I still talk about it because it's something that I'm passionate about. But for the most part, it's more just a chill kind of, we talk about, just kind of shoot the shit with each other. It's a good time. Check that out. And yeah, other than that, leave a like if you like. Oh, subscribe and ring the bell to stay up to date, of course. Leave a like if you like. And if not, I hope you find something to do like. Later, guys. Peace and love.